I think we're ready. Mark, how you doing?
Doing really good, actually.
Really good?
Yeah.
Really good? Okay, I bet there's a story there.
There's always a story.
So welcome to episode 4 of the Permanent Mark podcast. Today we have, of course, me, Mike. You got Mark, your co-host.
Hey, guys.
And we have Matt from United Warrior. And he actually does a lot of work with Wounded Warriors as well. And we're going to talk a bit about that, kind of get to know him and why he chose that to do. If you haven't guessed by now, he's also a veteran.
I am.
So he spent, 12 years in?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So we'll talk a little bit about his time in the military and things that he experienced, and maybe can talk to other veterans out there about how he can help. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing the delicious refreshments.
You're welcome.
We
Something
appreciate-
different, I think.
It's a little bit different. I think we do have to bring that microphone slightly closer to you. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
How's that?
That sounds way more better.
Better?
Yeah, you might turn the gain up just a little bit. So, welcome to, like I said, episode 4. Appreciate you coming on. I know we kind of talked about this a few weeks ago, and we finally kind of nailed down a time to do it, and it worked out for everybody. So, let's talk a little bit first about, what you're doing with your apparel company, United Warrior. So, tell me how you wound up there, and kind of the path that I got it there. Start from the very beginning. This is Getting to Know You, Matthew show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So basically, starting from the apparel side, I got out of the service. I was in the Army. And basically when I got out, I was looking for something to do. Job-wise, it just really wasn't working out for me.
Yeah.
I went through probably 8 or 9 different jobs within a year.
Okay.
Dealing and battling with some, mental health stuff. And when you leave the service, you have so much structure and you have a sense of being, I guess you would say. So when you get out, you don't have that anymore. It's kind of like, go do you, figure it out.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out which job path I wanted to go and what I wanted to do, it just wasn't working. So I started kind of doing some graphic design, which I always loved to do, was draw and doodle. And I wasn't the best at it, but it's something that brought me peace. That's why I'm glad that there's computers now that we can use and not pencil and paper.
Yeah.
So that kind of drove me to start producing my own kind of shirts and stuff. I liked the things that I was doing, and I wanted to put them on my own shirts, wear them around, show them. And then I had friends and family that asked for stuff. At first, didn't want to really do it. I was kind of reluctant, but they kept hounding me and said, just do something for me. And I eventually did, and kind of from there it spread. A lot of people liked the things that I was putting on.
Sure.
Hence,
the
asshole shirt.
The shirts, yeah.
Was actually a joke.
Okay.
We did that for a weekend. We were like, hey, let's just throw this together
and see what happens.
Yeah, we were going to an event, and we're like, let's just see what happens.
Like a trade show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was about 7 years ago. And it's still our number one seller today.
That's crazy.
Just something,
That's crazy.
yeah,
I love
something
it.
that simple.
I know, it's great. And shameless plug for you because, we have known each other a couple years now.
Mm-hmm.
And your stuff, the way it fits, did something just go off? Sounds like something beeped. But the way your shirts fit and the way the material is, I don't know where you get it from, but it's amazing. Not to mention the fact that the screen print you have is awesome. So let's rewind kind of back. What year did you join the military?
I started the process in 2002.
Okay. So, yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
So like the post 9/11 sign-up guy.
Yeah. That's not what actually drove me to join the military.
Okay.
So apparently when I was like 4 or 5 years old and I could actually write, I wrote a letter to my grandmother, I guess, that I was going to join the Army.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And then as I got older and I was in my teenage years and being rebellious, and she kind of reminded me of that.
Hey listeners, if you're running a small or large business and want to keep your IT running smoothly, you need to check out Computer Quest. They take the hassle out of managing technology, whether it's cybersecurity, asset tracking, or even full-service IT management. They've got you covered. I've been working with Computer Quest, and let me tell you, it has been seamless and smooth end to end. Their expertise and support make a real difference. Plus, they can source hardware from the brands you love at competitive prices, so you're always getting the best value. Don't wait for tech issues to slow you down. Visit cqbits.com. That's cqbits.com to learn how Computer Quest can keep your business moving forward. And make sure to tell them Permanent Mark Podcast sent you.
Yeah. Okay, we're back from a technical break. So you said that you had written a letter to your grandmother, Ma.
I read her
Grammy.
letter
Graham.
or
Mima.
she went by Dee.
Dee Dee.
Yeah,
Dee
Dee, yeah.
Double D. Good old Grandma
I
Double
mean,
D.
I was young. I don't know
Okay.
if I was really looking, but
Wow. This took a really strange
it
turn.
did.
Okay, let's hear it.
So apparently I wrote this letter.
Okay.
I don't know if it was much of a letter. I was like 4 or 5, but I wrote down that I was going to join the Army. So I guess I always had it in my head that that's what I wanted to do. So it had nothing to do with 9/11. I know most people use that, like, oh, that's why I joined. That's great, but I think I joined because I actually just wanted to join. It had nothing to do with,
Being called to that service. It
Yeah.
was just in your mind when you became an adult, this was my life path was going to be a service member, and you always knew it was going to be Army.
Yeah. I didn't want to
crazy.
join any other branch.
So we're all the same age then, basically. So I remember 9/11 very distinctly. Where I was, what we were doing. You were probably in class at high school, right?
No, I didn't. I did 2 weeks of high school. That was it.
Okay, well then, we were all in class. We've all, I don't know if you've seen it. Mark and I have been friends for 30 years plus. Yeah, 36. Did we decide? 38.
We're going on 37 years.
Okay,
Jeez,
37.
get it together.
A long time. Yeah, and Miranda and I have been together 25.
I'm the
years.
fact checker
Yeah,
for.
He is.
Yeah, apparently.
So we were all together at school when it happened. So it was bananas. And I remember our friend who wound up joining the service and just retired. Just like you, it didn't really have an impact. He was already going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? But it was like, okay, well now I know there's going to be bad guys to fight. So that was always kind of interesting because prior to that, it had kind of been this dead zone from the Gulf War to then.
Yeah.
There wasn't much going on. So if you joined the service, it was like, oh, maybe you push a broom or you go and you learn to shoot. You learn to drive tanks, but maybe you never get to use it. So that didn't have any impact. You didn't think about that at all?
No. It's just when I was, even still now today, when I want to do something, I don't really think about.
Typical guy.
I don't
even think about it.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
go
really
and do
think
it.
about it because I feel like things that I have thought about, I've 9 out of 10 times talked myself out of it.
Oh, I feel you on that one.
So
100%.
I feel like if it's something
Almost
that
talked ourselves out of doing this.
I mean, there's still time.
There's still
No.
this time. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the other things that I've kind of pondered the pros and cons.
Yeah.
I don't know if I find more cons like purposely or what it is. So if it's something that I've always had on my mind and I want to do it, I just go for it.
And just
Yeah.
rip the band-aid off and go.
Yeah. Same thing with business. Either you're going to do it or you're not.
You're not. Yeah. Yeah. And I was saying last week of the podcast, typically you get in your own way of doing it.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
you just stay in your own way. You're too afraid to take the risk or whatever it is.
Yep.
And that's like this and everything else I've ever done. For me, it's always been like, you the stuff that's really cool is just on the outside of your comfort zone,
Yeah, I think if you break out of your comfort zone, like you're just saying,
Yeah.
I think you find more to life,
Sure. Yeah.
more adventure anyway.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, but it's still an experience.
Yeah. So you write this letter, you're going. Dee Dee is like, go get him, grandson.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're set. You're gonna go, right? So for 11 years, 12 years, you're dead set on doing this, and then you join. And where do you go to train?
So I went to.
Did you live here? Sorry.
No, actually. So I'm originally from Boston.
Unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
What do you mean unfortunate?
It's just,
I'm just saying it was a state before here.
Well, I don't know.
I think.
I don't. It might have been a state, but I mean,
colony?
nobody wanted to live there.
So.
So it's just like it was like, what are the people? Like,
Why
oh,
do you
man,
think I'm here now?
oh, here's some land. I guess
You know,
we'll
you
go
gave
and
him
live
the
there.
genuine asshole shirt, and now he's just being an
Yeah.
asshole.
I mean,
Florida
it
has
comes
the
with it.
oldest city in the Americas. St. Augustine's the oldest
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, I almost bought their whiskey today.
Oh, they have like a
St.
brand.
Augustine Distillery, yeah.
Really?
Oh.
I think we just take a trip there just for that.
Yeah.
We could do a road trip podcast. Anyway, so you go. You're in Boston.
Yep.
You sign up.
Yep.
They say, "Thank you, young man. We're sending you to where to train."
Missouri.
Misery.
Culture shock. Culture
Yeah,
shock.
100%. Yeah.
So there's nothing out there.
Okay.
At least when I was there was nothing out there except Walmart, which they call Walmarts,
okay.
and a strip club. And that's it.
Was it strip club in the Walmarts?
Across the street.
Okay. Did
Oh
they
my
serve
God.
burgers or
Uh,
food?
I don't think they serve food.
'Cause I
Tacos.
feel like
And if
that'd
they
be a
did,
miss.
yeah, tacos.
Okay. All right.
But
All right, Mark.
I
Okay.
wouldn't have ate off that menu. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I
I
mean,
do have a funny story about what happened.
we're going to tell that story.
Yeah,
But
it's a good story.
so you have this.
Lord, or shell.
It's a good story.
See, oh my God. Well, I will. So, Total-
It goes along with the timeline.
okay, culture shock.
Yeah.
Completely like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
did
crazy.
it
The
make
weather was
you-
cool, but
What?
the weather I was good with.
Why?
It's the same weather. Cold.
I guess so. Yeah, just cold.
Yeah.
Okay. So you shops at the Walmarts, and then you hit up the strip club basically on the weekend. So what happened at the strip club? And here's the story.
So apparently that's what happens. I don't know. So
Is this an alleged story?
No,
or
no,
is this
this is
first-hand
true.
knowledge?
100%
Okay,
true.
all right.
So we graduate basic and AIT, and then you get family day. So
Hang on, pause. AIT is?
it is your training after you go to basic, then you
Uh-huh.
go to your AIT, which teaches you about your job.
Which, your job was what?
I was a combat engineer.
Okay.
So we did route clearance, we did breaching, we learned, stuff to do
I
with
bet you did some breaching at the strip club too.
more of a prod than
Okay.
a breach. No, I'm just kidding. I had to do a lot of different. There's two sides of engineers: ones that build bridges and other ones that blow them up.
Okay.
And
You were the blow up
basically-
kind?
yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so the strip club was the place to be. Is where everybody hung out?
So, well, it was the only two places to be.
Yeah.
So you're either hungry or you wanted to watch something.
Okay. So some entertainment.
So obviously, everybody out of graduating from basic training,
Yeah.
that's where they wanted to go.
Yeah.
So that's where we went, parents and all.
Okay.
Now after this,
Uh-huh. So your Bostonian parents.
my dad. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Were you just raised by your dad?
no.
Okay. Cool.
So before I tell you what happened,
Okay.
after this trip out for so many hours, we all had to go back and then
Okay.
do photos and everything else. Well, while we were there was a couple of guys that decided to get lap dances and go in back rooms, and
Yeah.
so they already know the scenario over there at that strip club because this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
they're right down the
they're
road
used
from
to
the
it.
base. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's take their money because they're stupid,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's take their bonus checks.
Yeah, luckily I was older than most people, that I wasn't that stupid. But so they're in the back room having fun, and they all came out with their dress uniform on. That is
a big
dark
no-no?
green.
Is what?
Dark green,
Okay.
okay? And it shows white very well.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So all over their tops and bottoms, there's stains.
Lotion,
Yes.
lube,
Yeah, something.
bodily fluids.
Something.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't
that
want.
go
I didn't
over?
want to investigate. It went good. The funny thing is two of them were smaller kids, so of course they were in the front for pictures. So,
It's like a Monica Lewinsky situation going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
White and crusty.
it's kind of worse when you're going back and you're in front of all those people and your family, and
I guess,
now it's
yeah.
going to get posted. And
Yeah. So is this like a midday hurrah then? Because graduation in the morning?
So, yeah,
Jesus.
graduation's in the morning.
It was a laugh. Sorry.
Good Lord.
I want to say I don't remember exactly, but we had
And
four
Raptor in
or
here.
6 hours out.
Yeah.
6 hours out, I think.
Okay. So lunch at the strip club, and the kids come back and they're covered in substances.
Yes.
And that substances is definitely from a strip club, not from the Walmarts.
And you can't change because you only have
You
one
only
set.
have one set. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So you graduate, and then you go to your after training.
Yep.
Right. What's next?
Then I go to Fort Benning for airborne school.
Okay. Very cool. How was that? We've been there several times.
So where Fort Benning?
Her brother, Miranda's brother, producer Miranda's brother, was a drill instructor for many, many years.
Oh,
Yeah. He's been recently retired.
very nice. At Fort Benning.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Fort Benning and Fort Drum from like 08, 09, something like that. I think so. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember.
But like 2015 to probably like 2014 to 17, right? At Benning? I don't know. Somewhere in those years. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you
love
went to Airborne.
Yeah, went
So
to Airborne
you
school.
jumped from the towers, or
Yeah. So
Can,
go ahead.
how was that?
At first, I don't want to say frightening, but it was. You seen all these other people getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
You see what I mean? There's no
So
rules.
you're like, all right, I know this isn't bad. I've probably done worse as a kid,
Yeah.
but I just watched that dude get fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's like, now it's my turn. All right, how do I land the way he didn't land, or land not the same way he did?
How do I not totally screw my knees
And the
up?
problem is you've gone through this training and you do it day in and day out and day in and day out, and then it's your turn.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I know I've been doing this for like 2 months now, but I forgot how to do it. So you jump.
And all the training goes out the window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of goes out
It's
the
just
window before you jump. You're like, oh.
Survival mode.
You're trying to think. It was horrible. So I had no issue. I jumped. Everything was fine. I didn't jack myself up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Training was good. You had to run everywhere you went. It was called the Airborne Shuffle. And it was kind of like a walk, jog, run, if you will. Your feet are only separated so far. So that was that part kind of sucked.
Rucksack, all that, right?
Not always. No.
Parachute?
No, not always.
Well, all right.
A lot of the time when you're going through and you're going to different classrooms and different training exercises, you just have maybe a canteen, your regular uniform on.
Okay.
But the problem is...
What year was this?
This was 2006 now.
Okay.
2005. So, like I said, you had to do airborne shuffle everywhere you went.
Yeah.
If you got caught not doing that, there were consequences.
Right.
What they went by was, smoking, which basically you do exercises till you couldn't do it anymore,
Yeah.
till you hit failure, and then you would keep going. That was probably like the worst part about it, to be honest, and Georgia, because I'd been to Florida previous to this
Yeah.
for probably like 2 months. So I kind of knew what the heat was, but not really.
Also, it was the heat.
Yeah.
It wasn't, because Columbus is beautiful.
No, it's not.
Oh, I think so. The downtown is great. Well, I mean, as a tourist when we were there, it was great.
So,
It was better than being on base.
oh yeah, I can
so
agree
there
with
we
that.
go, yeah.
But so here's how bad Columbus is. So in the military, you have places that are off limits.
Mm-hmm.
Like so when on the weekend comes, or if you have a 4-day, or vacation time or whatever, the military literally has places that are forbidden. Like
Yeah.
you can't go here. You
No
can't
go
go
zone.
there. There's like one place in Columbus you could go, and that was it. Everywhere else was off
Off
limits.
limits.
Now,
That
I
place
think
was the street, because you couldn't go in.
well, yeah, you couldn't go anywhere. But
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is from being civilian seeing it and being in the military and seeing it is Fort Benning is a duty school station. So you have people that come from all over the world that go there to go to school.
And some serious people, too.
Yes. But what happens is those people go and find things to do on the weekends when they have free time.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 of them do the wrong thing with the wrong women, and then they take off because they're going back to their original duty station.
Right.
And then husbands find out, or whatever the case is. So obviously in Columbus, that area, they really don't care for a lot of the military personnel because they've either been part of it, witnessed it, their ex went through it, or whatever the case. So it's a little bit different, I guess, being in the service and looking at Columbus from being a civilian and looking at Columbus.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I didn't really think about it. But her brother did not go with us when we went there. He's like, no, I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah, because he
What do you
was
think about
smart.
that? Yeah, so, yeah, but we went there, I think we were there twice, 2 or 3 times. It was great. I mean, we had a lot of fun. It was good to obviously see the kids and stuff like that when we just, my nephews. But yeah, I think, so during this time, I assume are you married yet?
Yeah.
Okay. And what, you guys got
Oh,
married?
no, I wasn't.
No, married.
I didn't get married till 2009 I got married.
Okay. So you're a single guy hanging out in Columbus, learning to jump out of planes, basically.
Yeah.
And did you
Perfectly good
jump
ones.
out of a plane?
I did.
And how'd that go?
Same as it did off the deck.
So it's identical.
Yeah.
So
It's just
training
higher.
out the window, pure survival.
Just higher.
Wow. That's crazy. What was
And
your highest...
hoping the guy that packed your stuff did it
Oh, shit.
without a hangover.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine that would be an
You know,
issue.
because like sometimes you're partying with these guys.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
know
like,
for a fact they're going to pack your sack.
like we were sitting here and
I said it.
Yeah,
I just said it.
you just hope he packs it right. That's the one time you want someone to pack your sack right.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because,
Dude or not.
other times.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
what's
there's one other time too, but
What's the high?
Mike knows.
Do tell. Do tell.
Nope. Just keep going.
Sacks.
Hey, you brought it up. You might as well talk about
I
it.
actually
now.
don't know what he's talking about.
Well, then enlighten us all.
Yeah.
Nope. Just keep going.
No. Yeah. The producer says you have to.
Talking about packing sacks. There's only one other time. That's really important, right, Mike?
What?
You don't get it. Maybe my brain doesn't.
Hold on.
Do you get it? I think you're the only one who gets it.
Who's on the billboard all over the place?
Pack your sack.
Pack your sack.
On the billboard.
Never mind. Just keep going. This is.
Are you talking about Dr. Dick?
Yes.
Oh, what?
Who's that?
The guy who's touched over 1 million wieners. He does the
Vasectomy.
vasectomy guy.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
all right. You got to lead with that.
I don't know what he's.
I
He's
mean-
like being very like, what? Why he's so mysterious?
Oh, I don't know
I
how much.
unpacked my sack. It's an unpacking.
Okay,
I
let's
need
go.
to
Come on,
do
keep
that.
going.
Oh, it's dude. Okay, we'll tell that story in a second. It's actually really funny. So, your jumping. What's the highest altitude jump you ever
Oh, God.
made?
I don't know.
You gotta know. You gotta have it. And
I honestly
and where?
don't know.
Okay, where's the most interesting place you ever jumped to?
Ever jumped to? I'd say Kuwait.
Really?
Yeah.
Dangerous or just
No.
fucking awesome?
Yeah.
So is Kuwait like really pretty?
I mean, I kind of liked it,
It's
but
mountainous, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's still fucking desert.
It's still a desert, but I mean like,
It's like everywhere you go. So I've never been to Afghanistan. My
Okay.
brother's been to Afghanistan. More mountains and everything there, rocks.
how many tours did you do?
So I did Operation Iraqi Freedom, which is OIF, and I did Operation New Dawn.
So he would have been there with Luke.
I've been wondering about this.
2009, 2010.
You were 100%.
Well, you all
there.
kind of started at the same time too. If you,
Yeah, you may have
Yeah.
been at Benny. I don't know what year he was there.
he started in 02.
Yeah, but I don't know what year he was at Benning.
Oh, I don't know.
And he
either.
didn't do the same thing. He was
Was he infantry?
infantry. He did. What did he do? Rockets, propulsion, or something.
He-
I don't know.
he
He was
blew
at
shit
Benning
up.
though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or he was
so,
in Texas.
But at Benning, there's two.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
There's two sections of Benning. There's the main post, and then there's Kelly Hill. Kelly Hill is where I was.
I think we might need to Riverside him into this conversation.
I mean, we probably could. I don't know how it would work.
Yeah.
Could you just text him and
Henry
ask him?
was closer to his year than
Huh?
Henry was closer to
No,
his
he
year.
started in 02, just like Luke.
Oh, you started. I
And he
think
would have been in
05.
Kuwait at the same time Luke was there. Anyway. Yeah, but he was on the ground. Just
Yeah.
taking with
Rockets.
rockets and I think
I mean,
tanks, I think.
Yeah.
it's not a bad gig.
No, he was pretty good at it. He was, just like you, young. And I don't want to speak for him, but I know that there was a lot of stuff he got into and it didn't progress as fast as he probably should
Yeah.
have. But that's him. He's like the best dude. And he had a lot of fun while he was in the military. A lot.
I mean, I had a lot
I
of
think
fun.
a little bit too much at times.
Sometimes, yeah. So
I wouldn't have left if it weren't for certain things, but I'm glad I did. I'm not saying I regret leaving, but
any stories you want to share of your time on any of those tours? Something fun? Something cool?
something
Something
fun.
you're proud of?
I mean, we had a lot of fun times. We did a lot of route clearance, which was basically looking for bombs on the side of the road and stuff.
So you're like walking, looking for bombs?
No, we're usually in vehicles.
It's one of those big things in front of them?
Yeah, so so the lead vehicle was called the Husky. It basically had rollers on the front.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time in a machine called the Buffalo, which has basically like an excavator arm for interrogation. The problem is you're looking for them, but you don't never find them. They tend to find you,
Okay.
which is the issue.
Okay.
But we were very good.
Did you
at-
ever experience that issue?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Couple times?
It's definitely an experience, and the first one is one that you never forget.
You want to talk about it?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I mean, it's
The floor is yours.
it's
So- Obviously, what we talked about this is whatever you're comfortable sharing is fine, but whatever your story is, there's probably, and you know this all too well because you work with the Wounded Warriors, somebody who's been through a very similar
yeah.
experience that needs to hear how you get through it.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the experiences, it was kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
It's funny now.
Okay, funny.
Thinking
hindsight.
back, I'm in a vehicle with one of our medics, and I was done. I was tired, and I laid down on the back of the floor, and I'm like, I'm just
Take a
gonna
nap.
snooze. I'm just gonna snooze here for a few minutes. Let me know if
Quick
anything
nappy poo.
gets crazy. And then the next thing I know, I'm like unlacing my boots. I'm like, I just need to breathe. So now I've like unlaced my boots.
I'm sure it's not an approved.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
Then I got my vest like 3/4 off.
Uh-huh.
I loosened it all up and everything, and I'm like, oh, finally. Because now you're getting like
I can
air in
breathe.
there.
Yeah.
Like if you were
Still hot, though.
been so hot, like you hang like your sleeve out the window and like you feel the air and
Yeah.
it's like instantly cooling.
Anytime in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, especially here. Jeez. So it's like that, and you're like, oh, finally. And then finally came, bang, everybody get up and get out. So
You're in a t-shirt and a pair of BDU pants, basically.
I had everything on. My boots weren't tied. My vest was not together. So now I'm, trying to get everything together, get out. I got boots
Did you have an
unlaced.
explosion and a firefight?
Yeah. So the explosion was actually, it didn't hit our vehicle. That vehicle I was in at the time. It hit the main vehicle, which it did its right job.
Yeah.
But obviously we all get out and you're looking for secondaries and you're, obviously looking around to see who else is out there.
Yeah.
And here I am, like, boots untied and, tripping over myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, hey, if this is the way it's going to go. At least I got a little nap.
I had 5 minutes to myself.
Yeah. I mean, in the time of the scenario, it was kind of like, oh, shit, this is real.
Yeah.
Especially when it's, only like the third time you've actually gone out and experienced some actual action.
Okay. So this is like pretty soon after you first get
Yeah.
there. Do you deploy directly from your training?
No. So the way I ended up in Georgia is I went there for airborne school. I was supposed to go to Fort Bragg
Okay.
with an airborne unit. And me and like 3 other guys, they were like, oh, hey, we actually need engineers.
Okay.
And we're like, all right.
You're going here.
Where? And they're like, well, we need them here. And we're like, well, we were going to Fort Benning. That's where we actually want to go. And they're like, no, I don't think you understand. We need 4 people here. We're like, okay. So we got rerouted. We got stuck in Georgia. And we got
man.
attached to an infantry unit. Yeah. So the first unit that I was with was 269. It was the Panther unit. That was a lot of fun. It was good.
Yeah.
Then after that, I went over to another company, which was the Can Do company. It was the 1st to 15th. That was good too. A little bit different. I met a lot of people over there that I'm still friends with today.
Okay.
More than the old company that I was with. But I was over being in Georgia.
Okay.
Like I was just over it.
The heat.
The heat, the not being
base.
able to do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm driving to Florida every weekend.
Why?
Because, like, fast forward, so before I went in, like I said, I'd spent some time down here. My grandmother lived in Largo, so I spent time with
Dee
her. No, different grandmother.
Okay.
Nana.
Nana.
Yeah, Southern.
Okay.
So we're going to Nana, you
Yeah.
know. So I spent some time down there, and I made some friends, and I had a lot of other family. I have, like, 36 cousins that live here in Florida.
Okay.
So I used to come down on the weekends, and then became really good friends with a guy that owned a bar out in Tampa. Mm-hmm. It was called the Roundup. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
God. We talked about it last weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
We literally did, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, because we were talking about the hot dog guy.
Went there a
outside of the
couple
Roundup.
times.
Oh my God,
Dude, how many hot dogs did that guy have?
dude. So
So
did
many.
you ever eat the redneck chickens from there?
Dude, if I did, I don't remember.
So it would be
We
like,
would go on sink or swim night, and I don't even remember half the time how we got home.
yeah, that dude made the best chicken sandwiches.
Really?
Like I still make them at home.
Huh?
Me.
Yeah, you drove home sometimes. All the time.
All the time.
Always
All the
the
time.
I mean, I drove
Yeah.
home too. I don't know how, but
don't
I
know.
did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I used to come down every weekend because that was the only thing to do.
That was Oldsmar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Sean, who owned the bar, when I would come down, he would just put a full bottle of liquor on ice, and that would be the weekend. A bottle a day, and then I'd go back.
So Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that place was like, I don't want to say ahead of its time, but I'm surprised it's even closed.
Yeah, so I know the story behind that.
I mean, I think we got to tell it right now.
So they moved. So his dad owned the jewelry store right next door to the Roundup.
Yep.
And so they wound up moving to, was it Bruce B. Downs or something like that? Bruce B. Downs, I think, or over in that area. They were building out a new one.
Okay.
Well, anyway, the guy that he had partnered up with, long story short, wound up stealing all the money.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's basically why the Roundup went
Because
to the hole.
No money.
Yeah.
That sucks.
The other problem is so many friends being with the owner and free booze all the time.
Yeah.
And there was never like a cutoff.
Got it.
And even when you'd be like, dude, you got to slow down. Like,
yeah.
you're making more friends.
Give it to me. Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that place was like, if we ever...
We knew a place like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
It's
We knew a
just
place
thinking
like that.
That's why they went there, too.
That's probably exactly why they closed, because we knew a place just like that. We would go in every weekend.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't even know, sometimes we didn't get a bill. We would go, though, it'd be like 20 of us.
Yeah.
We would go, and we would want to be in the entertainment. At one point, people were coming to see us do karaoke.
I'd see that.
It was great. It was like, but it was the friend circle was, a lot
Yeah.
bigger then. But we would get up, we'd do Meatloaf or anything.
God,
Literally,
we are the champions.
we were champions. Mark still does. I'm just a gigolo.
Not as often.
He should. Yeah, that was.
I'm not doing it.
No, please don't. That's not
Give
a
it
singing-
20 minutes.
It's not a singing podcast.
No, I need more than.
Well, go fill it up.
Yeah, so we had a place just like that, and they closed. I mean, within a year, they were closed. I think it wasn't very long, but
What
it was
was
a
the
lot
place?
of fun.
It's like a good year. About a
called the
year and a half.
Jailhouse.
The jailhouse.
Yeah, jailhouse. It was.
Well, they went from the jailhouse to the JL house because of.
That's right.
Where was that?
It was.
in-
you remember
right
where?
across the bridge in Newport Richie.
It's where Venom.
Now it's
is.
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, never been there.
Yeah. Well, it was. God, what year was that? Probably about the same time you were at Fort Benning.
Yeah, 2005,
Yeah.
2006.
Probably around that time.
Mm.
Such great times.
All right, so you're Benning, you get deployed.
Yeah.
When you come home from your first tour, I'm assuming you're still coming home to Florida or coming down here to Florida every now and then.
Yeah. So, well, before even my first tour, actually, I actually got married.
Okay, let's hear
So-
let's hear that.
So that how I met my wife was from driving down here. She was actually a shooter girl at the
Okay.
Roundup,
All right.
and prior to meeting her, when we would come down, it was my time to get away and do things and have fun. And
Yeah.
Sean didn't really care for that because I'd ruin his whole shooter girl
Okay.
thing.
All right.
Because obviously I'd come down for the weekend and then I'd go back.
Right.
I mean, I'd be clear, but
Yeah.
So fast forward, so I met her. She was a shooter girl there, and we kind of just met, started
Shooter
talking.
girls.
Huh?
I remember the shooter girls.
Yeah.
That was their job was
Yeah.
to keep you real drunk.
Well, they made a ton of money. I mean, I know she did,
Yeah. It was
like
just,
crazy.
yeah.
Like, I would have done that. I mean,
I think there's a little bit of a double standard there. People probably not gonna.
probably not back then.
No.
I mean, now
I mean, we
maybe
should open a place called the Cockpit.
have this out there. Yeah. I mean, probably be a lot of people come by there.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, so I met her. We went back and forth. We actually, had a weird, strong bond for some reason, even though everybody said
And this is
it'll
like
never
really
work.
before, really the internet. You didn't have there was Facebook, but it wasn't like it is now.
Back then I think there wasn't there?
MySpace.
No, yeah, wasn't there still?
MySpace.
Still MySpace,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like change your song when you're.
Facebook was only for college students.
That's right.
We all just
Yeah.
aged ourselves.
We're all old.
We were like, MySpace, what's
MySpace,
that?
What's that?
MySpace
Remember when
was
you would
fun.
change your song?
It was, dude. It was better than Facebook.
And you had
though.
to have
100%.
you actually did
I
coding and you
You could do
yeah.
stuff, change stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you could change like the background and like you put, like I said, you could change your song. That's when LimeWire.
What was his
still
name?
around.
Mark?
Mark.
No,
No,
this one.
That's this
Tom.
one. Zucky, yeah.
Tom was way better
He
than
was your
Mark.
very first friend.
Yeah.
Tom was your
Yes.
first friend, and then they got totally annihilated by Facebook when it became public. And
Yeah, it
then
sucked.
Fox bought MySpace. I'm pretty sure it's still around. I just don't know what
It
is.
is.
Yeah, it's like AOL. It's still there, but nobody
Yeah.
uses it. Yeah.
I cringe when somebody gives me that email address at AOL. And I'm like,
.com.
All right. Yeah.
can we update?
You have mail.
How about
Hotmail.
Hotmail? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hotmail.
that's old too.
Hotmail's bad, or
Definitely
T-Bell.
Even Yahoo. I feel like Yahoo's old
Yahoo's
too.
I still have mine.
So you meet the shooter girl
Yep.
within the first couple of months of you, or you're coming down basically. So you're double duty and you're working and partying.
Yep.
Meet the shooter girl,
Yep.
and you guys fall in love,
Something
or
like
you
that.
fall in love, or she does.
I think it was mutual.
Okay.
It was either that or we just wanted to hurry up, have a kid, and get married so we made more money when I went overseas. I mean, that was a good
That's a good
possibility.
motivator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you met her before your first tour, then?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you guys got married when? Within.
Before I left.
Oh, so it's
So
like.
she wound up getting pregnant.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah. One of the weekends I came down, I told you.
One of those shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a whole different kind of shooter. Yeah. It's a whole different kind of shooter.
she didn't give me the shooter. I gave
look
her
at
the
my
shooter.
wife.
She took care of
He
your
definitely was not shooting.
Yeah,
We
She
were
really
definitely not
she
shooting
took
blanks.
she took a shot, didn't she?
she emptied it.
Yeah.
So
The sack was definitely packed.
Yeah.
she's not going to allow me to come here again. She's going to watch this and be like,
You said what?
That'll be fine.
she got a good sense of humor. So, yeah.
Clearly.
And since we've met,
Yeah.
I feel like the world has been against us. It'll never work. It'll never work.
Yeah.
It'll never work. 16 going on 17 years later, it's still working.
Hell yeah.
As I got two kids,
Yeah.
another one coming. It's still working.
Well,
Everything's.
Yeah, and that's like, it's so funny that you say that, because every time we sit down to do this, we're talking. I mean, what, married or not, or Mark's been divorced, and we could talk about that in a moment. It's the overwhelming message that I always have is, we've been together 23 years since I was 18 and she was 16, and we've been married. Last week was our 19-year anniversary.
You got to change those times, bro.
Why?
On the air.
Yeah, it's fine. It's legal in Florida.
You can't say 18 and 16.
I can. It's legal in Florida. Yeah. But we've been together a very long time, and one thing that always, it's not easy. It's never easy, and I said it last week. Sometimes you can give up on yourself, but you can't give up on your person, and your person can't give up on you, and you have to consistently work through it, even when you fight right before you're supposed to be doing something really important.
Agreed.
Like, but you never can just give up
You guys
on the
all right?
other person. That's fine. Yeah. But you can't also be afraid to fight, and I bet that's probably true of you and your wife too, because
arguing
is essential.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah. We've been there.
Yeah, just
Anybody that says that they haven't is either full of shit or
doesn't have that relationship that's
right.
strong enough.
That
to be
don't have
honest.
a real
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you can't butt heads at some point in time, then are you really in a relationship?
Right, you shouldn't agree all the time.
Yeah.
But you should be on the same road.
Yeah.
And if there's any, I'm sure this will come up almost every time we're on talking to somebody or something like that. If you watch this, and you want that advice, it's just continue. Don't give up. Like, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your significant other.
Don't let anybody else influence you.
Yes.
Whether it's family, children,
Yeah.
or anything. I even tell my kids now, I'm like, I knew your mother before I knew you.
Yes, it's 100% true.
I'm like, so just think about that.
And when they're all gone,
yeah,
who are you
it's
gonna be stuck with?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I don't use the word
Stuck.
stuck.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oof.
Yeah.
I treat it more like a car lease.
Okay, that's actually worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's actually worse.
I take that back now.
That's actually worse.
You kind of turn them back in.
yeah. So that's what I tell her. I'm like, your
gonna-
lease is getting up.
Getting
there.
up, just got to renew the lease or trade it in for a different model.
Usually.
Yeah, so
You
is
just
your
can't return
insurance
it for dings
policy.
and dents, though.
For
That's the
shooter
only
girl.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we don't take you to the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to go anymore.
So you guys meet, get married. She's pregnant. You get deployed.
Yep.
I guess assume were you there when she gave birth? Or were
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gone?
So I
Okay,
missed
you were
the
home.
no. So I missed the birth.
Okay.
So I kind of saw it on the
Choppy ass phone?
interwebs.
Yeah.
Iraqi's interweb.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to see that, which was cool. But being there, obviously would have been better.
Yeah.
But I knew what I signed up for. We both did.
Yeah, you knew what you were getting
You know, you never know what timeline you're going to fall into.
Right.
You could think like nothing's going to happen and you're not going to do anything for, X amount of time. And then a week later, it could change.
Yeah.
The military as a whole is definitely set up for a hurry up and wait until you're not waiting.
And then it's go, go, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that
Yeah.
many times. Most of our really close friends are in some variety of service, whether it's police or firefighters or military, or obviously her brother has been in or was in for forever. So it's always, like you said, hurry up and wait. But when they want you to do something, they really fucking want you to do it.
Yeah,
right
it's
then
no
and there.
more. Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, which is why you train a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
So you're in Iraq at the time?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your first tour.
Yeah.
First tour was on Iraq. And you were there how long? 9 months?
12.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
So you come home. You guys are living in Benning?
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys live in one of the houses, or did they give you one of those little brown buildings?
So the crazy thing is, at first, before I got deployed, we didn't have. She had a house in Hudson.
Okay.
And I was in the barracks, so I didn't have to pay anything. So when she would actually come up, we would just stay in the barracks, and my roommate would hightail it. The problem was my barracks were the first barracks outside the company door, and you're not allowed to have the opposite sex in your barracks room.
Yeah.
So that was like a wild charade that we would have to play every now and again. So
Okay.
So eventually, when I got back, she moved up to Benning, obviously full time, and we got a house. We lived right off base because we still had the house here in Hudson too. Well, she did.
Yeah.
Which that was a shit show story, but so same thing. Weekends we would still drive back and forth every weekend. We'd come down here.
So she's originally from the area then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she was born and raised in Hudson.
Hudson gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the jokes I have about Pasco County.
Let's hear it.
I just
Which is a good
everything.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of.
Dude, there's a lot.
It's not much to say, honestly. Not much
it's
positive.
getting better, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. On the coastal part of Pasco is still not
Rough.
I don't say rough, but I mean it's not exactly the best. They're fixing to do all that stuff by Sunwest Mines. It's going to be completely blown out and have a strip mall and all kinds of shit down there.
Yeah, I will say, even driving down here, which I haven't drove down here in a while, they changed a lot of stuff and demolished a lot of stuff that needed that.
That needed that for sure.
Like that one motel or whatever it is
It's
that was
gone.
up there.
Yeah, gone.
Thank God.
Yeah. Man, it's been a long time since you've been down this way.
Yeah,
There's no need to come down here.
no, not really.
No. Shut the
spent-
fuck
I
up.
We're not there.
I spent enough time in like Clearwater,
Yeah.
Larghetto.
Like
Like Pasco, Trashco.
So like the first time I went up to Hudson
yeah.
to meet my wife, I was like,
Yeah. What is this?
the fuck?
Yeah. How many goats did you see?
So the neighbor that she lived next to had like 6 of those fuckers.
Yeah.
The little ones.
Yeah.
And I think one big one.
Meh.
And they would just
What are you doing?
run around. Oh, here's this. Denton Ave.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah, of
Winter
course.
Winter Lane,
Yeah.
which is right
Yeah.
across from the Elks Club. That street.
Oh, so right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definitely goats up in that.
If you've
area.
been down that
It's
road,
a lot of goats.
there's a lot of things.
A lot of stuff down there.
Yes.
Yeah. Unnamables. Unmentionables.
Yeah.
Okay, so first tour over, come home.
Mhm.
Baby's how old now? Couple
Like-
months.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it got to be right.
No, it must be. Yeah.
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 Not
couple
quite.
months.
Not quite a year old.
Well,
This
I
should-
came home on R&R, which is basically halfway through or 8 months in. You get to come home for like 2 weeks. They call
Okay.
it R&R, rest and relaxation.
Right, but you're jet lagged for a week as it is,
Yeah.
and tired and got sand in your butthole still.
Yep. And then my wife got pregnant.
Okay.
That's,
So yeah.
that's
again,
number 2.
Again.
So we're at 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure when I left, there was no one
Good
else
to
that
go.
could do
You're
it.
locking it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just done.
All right. Yeah. So you got the 2 kids.
Yeah.
You're back out for your end of your first tour.
Yep.
Then you come home.
Then I got
and
stop
you got
loss.
2 kids. Say, what's that now?
Stop loss.
What the hell's that?
So
Because I don't know. I'm assuming most people don't know what that is.
so yeah.
Because I know everything.
Unless you ever watch the movie. Watch the movie. It's called Stop Loss. It's pretty
There's a
good.
movie?
It's older.
Who's in it?
I don't
I
remember.
love movies, so.
Jason Bourne? No, I don't know. I
Jason
don't remember.
Bourne.
It's like somebody like him.
It's not. It's not
I don't remember.
Matt Damon.
No, I think it was before him, like before he really got into that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it's old. That's what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
90s maybe.
I
don't know.
I think the
2000.
producer is looking it up right now.
I got a bad memory.
It's okay. Probably has something to do with maybe getting blown up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely one.
Channing Tatum. Okay.
Is he? Stop Loss. Yes.
Yeah.
Military movie, right?
2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it was wild.
Oh,
Anyway,
Maybe we'll watch it.
so basically, when you're set to leave
Yeah.
your time, they were like, "Oh, you're not going home. Never mind."
Just kidding.
So your time just stops.
Okay.
And the only good thing about it is you get paid like double
Okay.
what you were getting
And
paid.
is that like a basically you can count on it was going to happen then? Did you expect it or not?
No. God, prior to that, I'd never heard of anybody personally that I knew that happened to. And it didn't just happen to me. Like, it happened to the whole unit.
The whole unit.
Yeah.
So all
Or at least-
how many of them
at-
guys are there?
I would say, or at least everybody that was going home on that rotation. Because you don't necessarily leave as a whole entire unit or brigade or anything like that.
Okay.
So I would say there was probably at least 25 or 30 of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just surprised you're staying in Iraq.
Yeah. But to be honest, like, I didn't mind it because
Why though? What'd y'all do after that? Could
you just
do your
continue.
same job?
Yeah.
And you're riding Humvees. You're not. Are you jumping out of planes at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
So how many times did you jump out of a plane then?
Like
you went to
3.
airborne school.
Like 3.
You jumped out. Of a
Yeah,
plane.
that's what happens. That's why I didn't want to get stuck in Georgia.
Right. Okay.
Because, yeah, the school's there. That's great, but it's still not an airborne unit. So,
Yeah, it's like auxiliary airborne, sort of.
yeah, maybe.
This guy's kind of able to jump out of a plane
Well, it's just
if you really need him.
you're not attached to anybody that's doing that.
Right.
So,
But if they need you in a pinch,
well, yeah, if
you're the guy.
And the other good thing is when I went overseas, I got paid extra for the capability.
classification.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was cool. But
but you still spend time in the dirt like everybody else.
yeah,
Okay. So how long was the stop loss? How many additional months did it add?
3.
On? Okay, and then you finally get home.
Yeah.
And how long are you home for then?
Jeez.
A while.
7, 8 months.
Okay, and then back for a second tour.
Yeah.
Then you come home.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy in the second tour.
No.
Just kind of a, because you guys are there. It's still Iraqi
So-
freedom at that point.
Yeah, so
But
it's
getting
turning
towards the end.
Yeah, it's turning into what was called Operation New Dawn.
Yes.
And basically, the whole time, one of your main objectives is to teach the Iraqi army how to kind of protect themselves,
Yeah.
what they should do, blah, blah, blah. So you're kind of giving them back the authority and hoping that you've trained them well enough and,
Right.
that they can kind of
Maybe stand on their own.
stand on their own, maintain what's been there, give them some more training and stuff like that.
How did you feel about that?
About what? Leaving or?
No, about like that being the mission.
Well, that was a mission within it. That wasn't the only mission, but I mean, I felt fine about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you're actually over there and you meet the people that mean well, it's different than what you either see on the news or you hear about what other people tell you. Like,
Yeah.
sure, there's a lot of fucked up shit. There's nothing left to buildings and places
Yeah, it's
out
all
there.
rubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad knowing that like people that actually have a good natured
Yeah.
personality or whatever you want to call it about them, that they're good natured people, that they're living like that.
Sure.
So you want to help them.
Because that's what I've heard about
Mm-hmm.
Iraq, but I've heard the exact opposite about Afghanistan.
Yeah, so I can't really speak
I know
on
you
that.
can't, yeah.
But things that I've heard, yeah.
It's the opposite. It's like a bunch of child molesters and rapists.
Yeah, and not that there's not in Iraq, but
it's Afghanistan allegedly is a lot worse from every account I've ever heard of anybody. Which again, you can't speak to, but I'm just sharing.
yeah. I don't know if it's worse or not, but yeah, there's a lot of
There's a lot of weird people.
yeah.
That region has been decimated over and over and over and over again.
But even like in Iraq, like the Iraqi people, like they have like boyfriends, like little, like young child
Yeah,
boys.
it's weird.
So they'll be married, but their side piece is like a
12-year-old boy.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I personally
fucked
can tell
up.
you I would have shot somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I wish you, in those instances, I wish you could, but you
You
can't.
can't. I mean,
Yeah, you can't.
you can't.
But
maybe he has a knife.
there's other things you can do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw him down some rocks. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? You need to-
Water bottles full
Whatever.
of
things.
not water.
Substances?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you finally get through your second tour and you come home and you're in what, a decade at this point basically. Almost.
Yeah,
right?
almost. Yeah.
Because you get out in 12.
Yeah. So
what year did you get out?
I got out. Well, I ETS'd out of active duty. My date was actually Christmas of 2012.
Okay. So that's a decade in.
And then I did, so I did, prior to going in active duty, I did 3 years reserve, and then getting out, you have an automatic, another 3 years of inactive reserve,
Okay.
which basically
They
you're
call
kind of
you up
like,
if they need you.
yeah.
And during that time, obviously 13, 14, 15, there's still a lot of shit going on, including escalations in other parts of
Yeah.
that region,
Yeah.
So you could have hypothetically but they're going to put the young kids in first.
Yeah, I
at that
wasn't
point.
worried about it.
Yeah, because you're older and you've got kids and
Yeah.
family and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
So you are done with your life in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested at what point you decided to get involved with the Wounded Warrior Foundation.
So Wounded Warrior Project was, I think, 2014 or 15.
So not too long after you're out.
No, and I never had any intentions on doing it. I think I originally joined because of another friend.
was
Didn't
like,
want
"Come
to
with
do
me."
it. Yeah. Why I don't know, but
And I'd love for you to tell the people that are potentially going to listen to this what people I think often think about Wounded Warrior as people that have just lost a limb or something like that. It's
yes.
not that at all.
No, and that's great because you know what, I went down that same path with other things of not wanting to get help or go on disability from the military or do this or do that because I was like, oh, I know friends that lost limbs or this happened
Right.
or that happened and I'm not as bad as they are, so why am I going to go after the same things that they're going after?
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're talking about the support basically.
yeah, the support aspects of it. And Wounded Warrior Project is not like, you see the commercials and you see the guys on there that, might be in a wheelchair or lost a limb but there's a lot to do with mental health recovery
Yeah.
from there. And that has nothing to do with whether you're severely injured physically or if you're missing limbs or, if you got shot or anything like that. I mean, that is all, mental.
And do you think that that's an underutilized portion of it? To your experience?
Yeah, I
anyway?
think it's underutilized across the board, not only with Wounded Warrior Project, but also within the VA.
Okay.
I just think the mental health aspect of things it might be getting better. I've been out of touch for a while, just because of business, but
Sure.
I think a lot of people are afraid that they don't know what they want to do. Like when they first get out, like if you wanted to be a cop, let's say, a lot of people are afraid to, go to any type of psych or mental or because they don't know if that's going to screw with their job
Right.
or trying to get a job, or if they wanted to be like, they have guardians at schools now. Like if you wanted to do that, and now let's say you're talking about trauma from being overseas. They're like, whoa, do we give that guy a gun? Like,
right. What I mean, they think the stigmatism is that these guys may be potentially a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Or have, I mean, let's be fair. A lot of veterans that come back do have PTSD, whether it's diagnosed or not, and whether they realize it or not. I'm not an expert on it, but I do know that statistically that is true. And it doesn't seem like what you said with the VA specifically. I just don't know they do enough for that.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do at all. I mean, They may, but I think with the amount of people out there that need it, I don't think there's enough people to help. Like, I don't think there's enough
They're understaffed,
resources.
underserviced.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And everything is such a waiting game. Like, all right, yeah, come and talk to me. All right, I'm going to set your appointment for 3 months from now.
Hurry up in the wait in a different way.
Yeah, like, what do you mean you're going to set it up 3 months from now? I need help now.
Yeah.
Well, we're booked. So let's find someone
And
that's
you can't
not booked.
go outside of it, right?
Yeah, well, and so even now they do that. They call it community care. So you can go and see somebody outside, but you have to jump through a lot of different hoops.
Sure.
Your appointment has to be so far away, or, you have to live a certain distance from the VA in order to do it. There's still so many different hoops that you have to jump through.
That's crazy.
But that's why, Wounded Warrior Project, if you can join and use them, they have enough resources to help you.
Okay.
And they have different things. They have things that, even if you don't want to go and actually be part of it, like go to an outing event, like they do a lot of stuff online. They'll do Zoom things. They'll do, and they'll do like retreats where it could be like all of us on a Zoom, talking and, kind of
Sharing the experiences.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like myself, I've gone on retreats to, kayaking and stuff out in North Carolina. Sure, that's fun, but the whole point behind it is to, build that morale back up again, to get other vets that are going through a lot of stuff, of the same stuff, to get them all together with the hopes that maybe not during the group, but maybe on the side or walking around like me and you were there, let's say, and we're bullshitting.
Yeah.
And telling each other our stories. Well, that kind of now just opened
Put
both
you
of us
back
up.
in the community.
Yeah, and even though we don't know each other,
There's a shared experience.
there's a shared experience.
Or
so
trauma.
It's almost like automatic.
Yeah.
Like when I'm sure it's the same with police and fire and
It is,
even some
from what I
medical too.
understand.
Yeah. That you're in that same line of duty.
It's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Community that there's no, I don't want to say barrier to entry on it. You have that shared experience.
Right.
So, yeah. So is that, for you, the reason you decided, you obviously went with your buddy, but then you got in there and said, man, I could really benefit for this because of what I went through with getting shot at and blown up. Well, you didn't physically get blown up, but you were involved in a explosion, like you said. And just, was it more the leaving and reintegrating, or was it what happened to you while you were there that made it difficult to reintegrate?
Reintegrate into like civilian life?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was probably more the structure, respect, that just wasn't in the outside world. Especially when it came to like jobs and stuff. There was no respect like to managers or higher ups, or people would literally talk to you however they wanted,
Right.
and didn't give a shit what your status was. And like, it's not that I couldn't handle that from a physical standpoint, but I couldn't handle that like mentally, because it was like, you're a piece of shit. Like, why you talk to somebody else like that? Like,
Right.
I don't, you know what I mean?
And it wasn't your own hubris. It was you just not being able to accept the fact that somebody is that small-minded, maybe.
Yeah.
To talk to another human that way.
Yeah.
No respect, not just for the job or what you're
Right.
doing, but just for the human being themselves.
Yeah.
Correct.
And just watching people, and it didn't even necessarily have to be me that was involved. It was watching other people interact and how they treated other employees, or, the blame would always be thrown on
Dude.
whoever could be closest.
Can I tell you how many jobs I've lost because of that?
Yeah.
She knows. I won't stand because I can take it. I can take somebody being shitty to me.
Right. Yeah.
Right? But if you do it to somebody that I know that is not going to be able to take it,
Yeah.
I'm that guy
Right.
where I'm like, okay, you can't be doing this. Like,
Yeah. I don't like bullies.
No, I don't.
Point blank. Like,
Yeah.
I used
And-
to seek them out.
Right, and I'm not saying like I'm this peaceful guy. I'm not exactly the nicest person sometimes. But
If the shirt fits.
It sure fits.
He
It
had to
does.
come home though and explain to me that he was fired because he stood up for someone else.
Yeah, not fired, but reprimanded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reprimanded, and then let's just say the next few months
Or not fun.
Didn't go so well.
it didn't.
But that's, 23 years later, here we are. Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, I don't like that either. And I've been in many jobs where people are just not treated the right way, and it, like you said, there are people out there that are it shows their, in my opinion, shows their own weakness to be like that to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can imagine if you're in the military where everything is very structured and it's like, okay, well, you're my superior officer. I got to do whatever you tell me to do.
Essentially, yeah.
But then you go into work at fucking Lowe's or something like that, and it's probably just the guy that has bid through the shit the longest that winds up being the bot for no reason other than the fact that he just hung on.
Yeah.
You know, because he's either too chicken shit to leave because he doesn't like the way that the company, whatever it might be. You just don't have that guy that you feel like is actually deserving of your respect. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, both ways, really.
Yeah.
You know, or even being in the management position and you're telling people what to do.
Yeah.
And you kind of expect it to be. And I'm not, like, even if I'm in a management role, which I have been outside of the service,
Yeah.
I'm not a dictator. Like, I'll literally help you do the job.
Yeah, you're a leader. You're pushing from the back.
But do what I'm telling you to do.
Right.
Without, like, an issue.
Right.
And a lot of people just can't do that. And then when you get real direct, then
Right.
it's, I'm going to HR.
Same.
I'll
Same.
tell them I said hi.
Yeah, I'm not cut out for that because, like, I'm super patient. Be like, hey, if to be successful, this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
And not only that, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the chance, and I'll give it. But then when I've had enough, it's over. I'm done with you. Like, I can't.
I'm the same way, and I feel like
And
I give
that's only
more
in
than I
work.
should.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, I try to do give the one. There's a saying, it's Gary V, and it's give 51% in any relationship. So
Yeah.
especially in a career, is you always want to outdo the person you're working with to
Yeah.
get them better. You know
I
what
agree.
I'm saying? So you're giving a little more than they even deserve sometimes. They don't know it, but you do. You know, you're doing it to help them. And that's typically what'll make a team really good, and that's what I think excellent leaders recognize when they see it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, so
Leaders lead from the front,
yeah, right.
not from the back.
So this is post-military. You're having really not a difficult time, but it's not as easy as you thought it would be to
Yeah.
kind of come back to being a civilian. And you think part of that had to do with how early in your life that you entered? Because I mean, listen, I don't think you were 19. I guess.
No, I was. Shit, I don't know. What was that?
22?
Yeah.
2002?
Yeah. So I was 20.
Yeah.
I'm 42.
Yeah.
I
So you,
think
you were
yeah.
19 or 20.
Yeah.
Right. So you are a child still. And you go, which a lot of young men and women do now, they go out and they join the military, and then they're done in 10 or 15 years, and they go, this is real life. Like,
Yeah.
all I've ever known is this, and partying on the weekends or starting a family or whatever it is, and you go and you struggle, and correct me anytime I'm wrong here, but you struggle to kind of find your way again. Then you find yourself doing, after 9 different jobs, you find yourself doing what? What was your thing outside of having your apparel company?
Prior to that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything.
It was just a bunch of shit, and then you're like, I'm gonna go. I can only work for myself.
Yeah, I'd say that was basically
right? Yeah.
basically it
You gotta
was.
be
It was
an entrepreneur.
I got to figure out something to do or somewhere to work that I can be myself
Yeah,
and not have to worry about
somebody else.
somebody
Yeah.
else. And the only way that was going to ever happen is if I
Yeah.
worked for myself.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's where it ended.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's pause for a commercial break real quick. I'm gonna go take a pee and make another drink.
Up a pee.
Hey listeners, if you're running a small or large business and want to keep your IT running smoothly, you need to check out Computer Quest. They take the hassle out of managing technology, whether it's cybersecurity, asset tracking, or even full-service IT management. They've got you covered. I've been working with Computer Quest, and let me tell you, it has been seamless and smooth end to end. Their expertise and support make a real difference. Plus, they can source hardware from the brands you love at competitive prices, so you're always getting the best value. Don't wait for tech issues to slow you down. Visit cqbits.com. That's cqbits.com to learn how Computer Quest can keep your business moving forward. And make sure to tell them Permanent Mark Podcast sent you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm going to change my accent.
Hello.
Okay.
Introduce me as my twin brother, and I'll have a different accent.
This is Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back, and we're gonna kind of dive a little bit deeper into if you could have. I want to talk about what advice you might give young people kind of getting into military based off your experience. But first, I want to talk about people maybe underutilizing the Wounded Warrior program based off the knowledge you have about it. What are the key differences between what the VA can offer and what Wounded Warrior can do for you?
So,
Oh, you gotta get that microphone. That's too far.
can you hear me now?
That's way better. Yeah, there we go. You gotta like project into it, like you have been.
So I think there's a lot of similarities. However, I, in my personal opinion, I feel like there's more resources with the Wounded Warrior Project.
And that just because they privatize some of it, or
Well, no, not even necessarily. It's just if you call in, or if you get in contact with somebody and they can't do it, they literally will have somebody else do it for them. Like they'll make sure that you get to where you need to be
so they
in
have
a
an
timely
advocate
fashion.
for you.
Yeah.
So it's more of an advocacy program on top of being
Yeah. So even if
a
you
support program because they do all of those events and things like that.
right, and even if you needed help, like with the VA, like you can go to the Wounded Warrior Project, and there's advocates that will help you there with even the VA, getting
it.
benefits, getting appointments if you need them. But the nice thing is they do a lot of retreats that help in even in marriage. So me and my wife went to a couples retreat.
There's a movie. That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, it was nothing like that. I thought that's what it was going to be
'Cause
like.
that's a great fucking movie. We should watch it again.
It was-
We haven't seen it in a long time.
yeah, I wish it was like
It's
that.
got a bunch of funny fucking people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, in there on the beach and
Yeah.
right. Or,
Oh yeah,
or
they're
by
mostly on the
pool.
beach and pool and
Yeah,
and a boat.
It's been a while.
And I think
Sounds like an Adam Sandler movie.
it's not. It's Jason Sudeikis. Is that his name? No, he's in it, right?
Yeah, but who is that? There was that dude that was out by the beach that was teaching the Pilates or something. Wasn't there?
Oh god, it's been probably 10 years since I've seen that movie.
And
I think
he
it's
had
on
that, like,
Netflix.
accent?
Hey,
He
you
was
want to watch
tall?
it tonight? Let's do it.
Is it Russell Brand in that movie? No.
No, that's forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I'm forgetting what I'm talking about now.
No, we're off.
It had John Favreau in it.
I don't even know who that is. I'm more of a, I know that guy, not
Okay.
by name.
Well,
Unless it's like,
I swear I could do a whole podcast on movies. I really could.
unless it's like somebody really
Or like
named.
a short. Like that's maybe what we'll do next week on the midday podcast.
I'll have nothing
Midweek,
to
I know.
add.
I just won't even invite you then.
You should do movie skits.
We talked about. What are you trying to get me to focus up?
Focus.
I know, squirrels. That's what the whole podcast is about. I ain't got no boss. Do whatever I want. It's my podcast, goddammit.
The producer's the boss.
And she's
I think.
she's always the boss. Yeah. So, back to talking about what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, my couples retreat.
Yeah, your couples retreat.
Jeez,
Yeah.
wasn't as
Go.
cool.
I mean, I bet you had fun.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was.
By the way, we've known some couples that went on couple retreats.
They didn't come back couples.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. You didn't have to.
Condescending sip.
Tastes good, huh?
Leave
So
it at
good.
that.
Go
So
ahead.
it was good because I think it was like an accountability thing, which was kind of like a shock. Like
Accountability in what way?
for like the warriors, right? So because the warriors could have been male or female, it didn't matter.
Okay.
But it was married couples that went there that might have been struggling through their relationships, wanted to build a stronger relationship, wanted the spouse to understand
The shit.
the shit because
Yeah.
most of them don't, and like my wife doesn't know everything that I went through,
Right.
you know.
But it's also fair to say that her having you gone and stuff like that is something you don't understand either.
Absolutely.
Right.
And
so that's why they put them together, obviously.
and that's a great point because
I tend to do that sometimes.
a lot that was a good point
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't understand that when you as the soldier, marine, whatever,
Yeah.
serve,
Yeah.
so does your wife or your
Right.
spouse.
Yes.
Because it could be a male too.
Yeah.
They go through just as much, if not more. And the fact that depending on your deployment or what you're doing, there's no communication.
Right.
So
you could be 6 months without saying a damn word.
Yeah, so they're thinking, like they're taking care of everything that they need to take care of. In my wife's case, it was a newborn baby.
And a 2-year-old.
Yeah, so she's dealing with all that house stuff, paying bills, doing this, doing that, and doesn't know what I'm doing because it's not like I'm calling in and checking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It got better as time went on. We were able to, but it's not like we're having full blown conversations. It's kind of like, hey, what'd you do today? And then that's the end of it.
Right. And well, there's an impact, I assume, just based off of what I've known from friends and stuff. There's an impact that has on your relationship because you're getting a half-life. You're getting this half-life where you're deployed.
Mm-hmm.
She's experiencing the actual, like you just said, in and out, day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
And you're over there worried about not dying.
Right.
Not working and building a foundation for your relationship, and especially maybe in your case because you guys really just kind of jumped right into it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we super did, and of course that you have that that stereotype of people getting deployed and being married, and their
absolutely.
significant others
stepping out,
calling Jody, as they call them.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Jody.
That's
what they call them.
Because it can be a male or a female name?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
You never want to be Jody.
No more Dear John letters.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
John Deere?
I do have a good story about that one, though.
Let's hear it right now.
Right now?
Let's go right now. Because we could probably loop that back into couples therapy.
I mean, for sure we
retreat.
can. Actually, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So I had a friend over there, and
Jody.
we never knew what was going on. He never broke character. Always same old happy-go-lucky, funny. As days went on, fast forward to going home, and at the airport, he just walked up and punched his wife right in the face.
Right in the face.
Right in the face, square in the chin.
Wow. What?
I mean, could you guess why?
I mean, I'm gonna guess that she was actually a man. No.
Yeah. Well, she was there with a man.
She came to the airport with a man?
Yeah.
She came to the
She
airport?
got a ride.
She was ridden?
Well, she was brought there by the other man, by Jody.
And Jody's just a friend. This is just a friend.
Yeah.
Mr. Marshall. Let's say his name is Marshall.
Well, he knew about the whole thing, the whole time we were over.
Were they like in an open relationship?
No, it was
sure?
it was a buddy of his who knew what was going on and was telling him, but he never opened up to any of us. Probably because we knew, in that scenario.
Yeah.
When you get back, you're obviously going to pay attention to what happens and keep things from happening, or try to keep things from happening. So by not telling anybody, he could carry out his mission, if you will.
I got it. So
And
it's premeditated face punch.
Yeah.
Okay. Needless to say, they were separated.
Yes.
Did he do?
They could have went to couples therapy.
Did
or
he get in
retreat.
trouble?
Of course. I mean, you punch a chick right in the face. That's.
I mean, everybody saw it.
At the airport.
Yeah. Oh, everybody saw it.
Okay.
You know.
That's crazy. Did he wind up leaving the service after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Forcefully?
I think it was a little bit of both, but yeah.
Okay.
I think he had enough.
A little bit long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done with this shit. And then plus,
Yeah.
so Jody's there. Jody sees this. And what does Jody do?
Oh, Jody wasn't. He was
He wasn't
there
in the building.
but he wasn't in the building. No.
So he was just a Fuber. A
Correct.
fucking Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so they could have come with you guys to one of these couples retreats and worked
Yeah.
on not only themselves, but I would assume that these military spouses have a shit ton of stuff to talk about as well.
Yeah, they do.
And this is all done again by the Wounded Warrior.
Wounded Warrior Project. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and they put all this shit together.
Yeah, I mean, they pay for your lodging. They pay for you to get out there. They literally take care of you through everything. You know, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
And forgive my ignorance. This is a thing that you pay into doing, like a union almost, or
No, you don't pay anything.
nothing.
Nothing.
It's completely government funded.
Well, it's not government funded. It's funded by
What are you
the
doing?
Wounded Warrior Project and donations.
Okay.
So, as far as I know, they don't. When I was involved in it, there's no government funding. No.
So there's really no barrier to entry other than you going and doing it.
Yeah, it's as simple as just going,
Okay.
getting your ass off your couch.
And just you do sign up online.
You can sign up online. You can go to, I would assume it's woundedwarriorproject.com.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and you go through the process.
So This retreat you went on was to Carolina, you said?
So one of them that I went to was in Carolina.
Okay.
That was the couples.
North or south? Big
North
difference.
Carolina. It was
Way better.
Not Tahalia. It's where they have the huge zip lining thing out there, and I don't know. It's great. I mean, you can go personally.
Okay.
Like,
I've never zip lined. I don't know that I don't know.
It's fun.
It's
I've done it.
I don't know.
Almost lost my fingers doing
Yeah,
it,
that's what I'm
but
thinking.
So, dude, go to Tree Hoppers.
that's where I almost lost my fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe.
you're not supposed to put your hand in the
feel
Well,
front.
yeah, that's
And-
operator error.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it totally was.
I feel like I've had enough thrills. I think I'm okay.
Now you got to go.
I don't know.
Nah, you haven't had enough yet.
I'm too fat to go now. There's a weight limit
Does it have
on
a
those
weight
now.
limit?
Yeah. You're like, whoa, buddy.
This is too much. Yeah. It's like when you try to get on a horse. Or like,
Not that
somebody
horse.
get a Cosby off of this man. Yeah.
Get him a bull.
Yeah. So you guys go. What do you do? Like in this instance, this very specific instance. How do they set it up? Like, do they give you the itineraries like you're going on a regular vacation?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Well, they give you an itinerary, like a schedule. Like, basically, this is what we're doing. You're almost always,
Yeah.
with the exception of a little bit of time, you're almost always engaged in some type of activity,
Okay.
whether it's one-on-one or group. And a lot of the time, it's group.
Again, because they're trying to.
They're trying to
They
get
want to give you, as the service members, that experience of being with the boys again, basically, right? And feeling comfortable to.
They're
maybe
giving you
talk.
the structure again.
They're
Well-
giving you the structure and the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, so that's one part of it, and I feel like sometimes in a group setting, if you have, one or two people talk, that encourages more people to talk.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
then I think the other good part about it is the service member side of things. We all know what we've kind of all gone through. We might not have gone through the exact same things, but very, very similar.
I've been saying that we all walk the same path. We just have different shoes.
Yeah, but so for spouses, they get to hear almost the same things everybody's going through, right? So
Right.
so like for my wife, for instance, she already kind of knew a little bit of background of what me and her have dealt with and how I've been if I was sheltered or not sheltered, but if I was, didn't want to go out, didn't want to do this because I didn't want to be around a lot of people.
Yeah.
So she knew like that aspect, but then when she hears 30 other dudes saying the same thing, it's kind of, for those spouses, it's like, oh shit.
And what was the?
It's not just him.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And what was kind of like? Do you think that doing those things help you break out of that cycle?
Little bit.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's not like we've hung out a lot or anything in the couple years I've known you, but even in the time that I've known you, I've never felt as a person that wasn't unopen to talking about things.
Yeah. I mean, I do to a degree with, I think it depends on
Well, we talked about this.
the
If
people
you can-
and yeah.
if you're comfortable with the
Yeah.
people, because some people are just shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And also the more that like if we did more talks, obviously the more we talked and did things, the more
Yeah, more
you-
comfortable you become.
yeah, right. And you're always a little bit guarded on how people are going to react to what you say.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, no matter who you talk to, whether it's in person, on the internet, or here or there, everybody always has something they got to say.
Most people don't. So I mean, whatever you do is probably going to make somebody mad anyway.
Yeah,
So just do
always,
do whatever
right.
you want. I mean, like,
And I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no,
My
I
problem
totally do.
is then seeing it and not
I just don't pay attention to it.
going.
You're
off
probably
on
going to
it.
have people that are upset about you talking about the round.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
care.
PTSD from the roundup.
Yeah,
All right, so you guys
it's
are on
probably
this.
because I bounced them out of there or something.
So, did you bounce while you were there?
So, well, yeah, officially, unofficially,
Officially, unofficial.
yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Happens a lot at the Kangaroo.
When you
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you know the owner,
Yeah.
you kind of
you're
just
like,
help.
Hey, go get that guy.
But
Yeah.
I was rowdy then.
Well, we were all just a little bit rowdy.
Like
when we were
bad.
19.
I think the first time I went out with my wife and we went somewhere different,
Yeah.
I was like,
Uncaged animal.
it was bad.
Yeah.
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 We never got our asses kicked
Well-
out, though.
No.
Well, I didn't.
No. But we were talking with our buddy Adam this week, and he's like, the fact that 19-year-old boys can, first of all, learn anything is completely and totally astonishing that we at 19 could even survive.
Yeah.
Because we're so rambunctious and rowdy, and depending on where you are in your, maturing or not, it's crazy. It's crazy that we could even survive all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's bring it back to the Wounded Warrior and providing you guys with an opportunity to not only go someplace and have some outdoor time, being with people that are of the same experiences. And do you think this was like what, shortly after you've been out, or have you got?
Yeah. I don't know. It was at least I guess a couple of years.
Okay.
Or so.
And I just gonna throw a grenade out there. I'm gonna assume that you by this time you guys had already kind of gotten through you weren't here for so long, that argument, and then the shit that I did, and then also I don't want to do it because I feel this way. You guys finally go to one of these retreats, and do you think that doing the retreats was part of, I don't want to call it the healing process, because I don't think you can ever really heal from, I think, what you've been through, but part of that was you coming back into not only integrating with a physical, but a mentality wise. Do you think that helped you reintegrate and get back to being a person again?
In some cases, yeah. Mine and my wife's relationship is so different than most people's that
You'd be surprised.
we never had really that argument of place of blame. Like, oh, you were hit. Like, we both knew what we were signing up for, like, so we never really had that. We did have other things, obviously. And so it did help. It helped me probably a little bit more open up about, certain things.
Yeah.
It helped her too, because she didn't know how to act or what to say or what to do, or, when I would get into certain, moods or, go off the.
So what was
the
what made you come to the point where you thought that was something necessary to do for yourselves? Or was it just something like, yeah, that sounds cool. I think maybe we should try it out.
I think we both kind of knew that it might be something good for us.
Okay.
Because, like everybody else, we've had arguments and fights and, dumb shit. It wasn't specifically either military or not, but, and I think we just kind of knew that it would be something good for us, and it would maybe make us closer, stronger.
Which you did, obviously.
It did. Yeah. It did, definitely.
Have you done this again? Or
no.
is it just a one-time thing you did with
so you could do it
retreat?
Again.
Okay.
We've done other things, but no, that was the only couples retreat we ever did.
Yeah. Totally a life-changing experience, though.
Yeah.
You're here talking about it today.
Yeah, and it was good because she got out of her comfort zone. She was able to do a lot of stuff. Like, there was a lot of, like I said, there's zip lining and obstacle courses, and part of that is to help your partner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be support. And,
yeah.
They put things out there that you as one person can't do.
Right. You have to rely on your partner.
Yeah.
Or a group.
Right.
Right.
And some of the things were group related. So now you're having people that you don't know having to do things together.
Right. And work that out.
Yeah.
Escape rooms.
Like, I was going to say that. Like, when you go to an escape room and you're stuck with people you don't fucking know.
I want to do that. Never done
Have
it.
you never done
It's a lot of fun.
I think I'd be really good at it.
I'm saying right now we're going to book it. You would be surprised.
I feel like I'd be really good at it. And if not, I'll bring a hammer.
What kind of escape room did you do?
So we've done two. We did one for one of the kids' birthdays last year. We did it last year, and it was in Brooksville. It was like up there on 50 somewhere, and it was good. It was one room though. It was like a room, maybe a little bit bigger than this room, and it was like it was Old West theme.
10 by 10.
It was Old West theme, and you start in a jail cell, and I think that.
I feel like they all start in a jail cell.
One of the kids, I think, messed up the original clue and like threw the lasso too far and then actually pushed back the key further than you could get to.
Yeah.
So the challenge, the first challenge, was to get the key from the outside of the cage, and there's a very short piece of rope, and they put it just within the grasp of being able to get to the rope where you can hook it around.
Okay.
Well, one of the kids that were with us fucking just threw the rope almost completely out of it to where we had to go through and grab the rope, and it pushed the key backwards. So we're like trying to get it, and after about 5 minutes, the girl comes in and just goes, "Here you go," because we weren't going to be able to reach it because no matter what you did, the rope, because it's a genuine piece of hemp rope.
Yeah.
So you know how they are. There's no stretch.
No.
So you just throw it out, and it's like this rod.
Yeah.
and it's like constantly falling short. And so anyway, they came and helped us.
So you failed, is what you're saying.
I don't think technically we finished within 30 seconds, right? But then a couple of years back, we did one which was awesome. It was in Tampa. We went with some friends. It was just me and my oldest son, I think, and it was like a horror themed one.
Yeah.
And it was multiple rooms, and let me tell you, it was awesome. It was high tech. It was great. So yeah, if we ever did one, I would do like that. But it was like $65 a person.
Oh yeah, they're a little bit pricey.
They put a bunch of random people in there with you?
If you can book it with at
Like
least
a group?
if 6 people go, you're good to go.
Oh, okay.
And that's what
But
we
if you
did.
go like a date, you're going with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you can't. The
which is
puzzle.
not necessarily a bad thing.
Listen,
Unless you're with a bunch of idiots.
I don't like to go to hibachi because I don't want to eat with other people.
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny because I'm kind of the same way.
I don't
I
wanna go
love
either.
I love doing
hibachi.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't
But I've
want to
had
sit
some
with
weirdos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to go
No.
and sit with some strangers for $100 dinner.
Yeah, I
No.
ended up
You
sitting
know?
with some strangers that were actually not strangers. They were your mechanic.
You did?
Yeah.
Because
When?
you know somewhere.
I know.
Yeah, we can't
'cause
take you
It
anywhere.
doesn't matter where I
Dude,
go.
I'm
I know
telling you.
somebody.
It's like
We can't take
I'm
you
or
that
like
anywhere,
when
guy,
bro.
they squirt that sake in your mouth.
Sake?
oh,
And like everybody's like,
I thought you were gonna.
how much can he take?
I thought you were gonna say.
I've got a
I mean,
big
what-
mouth. I took a lot.
He does take a lot of the white sauce.
You kind of
too.
feel like
You
people
know,
are judging you a little bit.
I've
a
got
lot of the white sauce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Small
The yum
little
yum
funny
sauce.
story
Yum.
about that. My
Cream of some young guy.
my cousin actually did that, and
Took some.
my cousin David. And
David's in the military.
Oh, well.
all right, so they were doing that, squirting him in his mouth, and the the guy
In the
moved,
military?
the
I'm
sorry,
guy
David.
moved his hand, and he got the sake in his fucking eye. And he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, "Oh my god!" He's like, his eyes like all of a sudden like bloodshot red. He's got,
Only you guys.
it's a land thing.
I guess so, dude.
Oh my god! if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to a land.
I guess so, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't like. I love hibachi. She doesn't love hibachi as much as I do. I don't think.
Chloe loves it.
like the food or the experience.
Both.
Yeah.
Kind of over the experience. I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
It's
you
the
know,
same.
It's the same.
Unless you get one of those really good dudes.
Well,
But the
Oh,
problem
our
is,
guy.
the problem is you can cook hibachi at home.
Yeah, I can. I've got a big flat top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have done that several times.
You got a big
So
what?
does everybody.
Yeah.
A big flat top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like people.
Yeah.
Well, can't disagree with you there.
Yeah. You like your people. You just don't like other people.
Select
Yeah.
group of people.
Yeah, very small group.
Yeah.
It's 2 people.
Well, hey.
You sure? I'm not one of them. Okay, so couples retreat. You guys do your thing. You know, I'm assuming like there's sessions where you go and you guys talk with a group and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So these things that they set up, were they more? Are they as prominent now? If you're currently like if you're out there and you were going to give some advice
Yeah.
to somebody who's recently separated from the military, and it's available to you, right? Regardless of
Yeah.
regardless of your situation, you can, as long as you qualify for VA. Do you qualify for?
You don't have to qualify for VA. They're completely separate entities.
Okay.
So the main thing is and it could have changed a little bit, but the main thing is as long as you served after 9/11, I mean you're in.
Okay.
You don't have to. You could have never stepped foot inside of a VA. It has they're completely different.
Separate
Yeah.
entities. Okay.
The Wounded Warrior Project is 501.
So what's your advice for somebody out there who is not doing it? Obviously, it sounds like you would recommend it. What's the best step? Like, what could they do besides go to the website and do that kind of stuff? Is there like, I don't want to call them support groups to get people involved in doing it? Because once you're in, then you wind up doing it. You wind up being involved in the community.
Yeah,
right?
I would definitely say, if you're standoffish, would that be the right word?
Yeah. If
If you're scared to
less
do it,
susceptible to doing things.
yeah,
like that.
or you feel like you're going to be, less than a man or woman or anything else, I'd say do it. I honestly think that you'll have more fun and you'll put some life back into yourself
Yeah.
by doing it.
So
And
step out of your comfort zone a little bit.
yeah,
too.
and there's no and there's no pressure. Like nobody's in there. Like you're not going there now. All of a sudden, it's a cult. Like there's no pressure. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. They'll give you all the resources. They'll get you anywhere you need to be. But you have to ultimately make the decision.
Right.
Which is good, I think, because I feel like anything that's pushed on somebody, especially like a vet dealing with that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, automatic turn off.
Yeah, because they don't want to do it.
Right.
Right.
But I would definitely say just give it a shot. Go to one retreat. I mean, some of these things you could do family days
Yeah.
to just get out there and meet people.
Yeah.
And you can bring your kids. Like most people, like me,
Yeah.
if I'm bringing my kids or my wife, like I feel good because at least I know I have people there that I know, talk to, blah, blah. So if you're worried that if you're going by yourself and you don't know how to talk to someone and you don't want to feel like you're that lone man out, which you won't be because people will walk up to you.
Yeah.
Bring your family.
So, so you've been to ones without your family then, I assume?
I've been, both. Yep.
Have you gone with people that you served with?
No, actually.
Just people you've met
Yeah.
through the program?
And I have some stronger bonds with people that I've gone through different events with at the Wounded Warrior Project than
Yeah.
people I even served with.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, and we've
Yeah,
done
that's
some
really great.
We've done some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
One of the retreats we actually did, it was a bike ride through New York City, where they actually closed down like the George
That's
Washington,
freaking
like,
awesome.
and you
That's
have like
cool.
police escort. So that was like one of the first times in my life I ever felt
Yeah.
like, damn, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of just like hit me like,
Is it
It made you
fair-
feel special
I was
too.
gonna say,
They
yeah,
just shut
yeah, that's
down
what I'm
everything
saying.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Is it fair? It makes you feel appreciated then? Because I know a lot of guys
I
get
feel
up
like-
and don't feel appreciated.
yeah. I think a lot of that appreciation is gone. I don't think it's there anymore. I really don't.
In
Like,
today's society?
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
yeah, I think it's completely gone.
Yeah.
So something like that, it was definitely like, damn, this
Yeah.
is cool. Like you almost felt like a celebrity,
Okay.
but it almost gave you like this peace of mind, like, oh, all that shit that I did actually means something to some people.
Sadly, we need to have like another 9/11 to
you're-
happen. Or
I don't even
something
think that would do it.
to make people.
I almost
appreciate
don't
you.
either.
I don't
But,
think it would
I
do
mean,
it.
do you remember 9/11? Everybody had flags and everybody was,
Oh, God.
America.
The
blah,
Now
next
you can't
day.
even fly a flag
Yeah.
anymore. You
Right.
can't- you feel, in some neighborhoods, you feel uncomfortable putting the flag. I don't.
Yeah.
Not me.
Not in my
us.
neighborhood.
But you hear that you see on the news, people tear down people's American
Yeah, it's
flags
crazy.
now. They take down their signs, and how dare
I'd
you?
like them to try.
Can't even.
Yeah, I was
can't
just
even,
going to say, come by my house and try that.
you can't even celebrate 4th of July sometimes in some neighborhoods. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do it if you can, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would. Not if you can, because you can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you
Just do
yeah,
it.
just go do it.
You gotta-
Again, it's just you're in your own way sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like, and if you feel that you can't make it to the computer to sign up,
Yeah.
tell your wife or your buddy or
Yeah.
whoever else, hey, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about joining, and just
Yeah.
tell them to sign you up. Call me,
So
I'll sign you up.
tell me a little bit about. So I know because we talked about it, and whether or not you want to talk about it is fine. I know that you have recently lost a couple of really good friends.
Yep.
Do you think? I know there's never a good reason for somebody taking their own life. I understand that. Do you think that somebody could be helped by joining something like Wounded Warrior? Do you think they offer enough support for people that are at risk or on the brink of?
I do, but again, you have to be willing to accept that help too. So it's a double sword. So in those scenarios, the issue is they were looking for help. They couldn't get the help, especially in the timeline they needed. So if they were part of, say, the Wounded Warrior Project, they probably would have gotten the help and then some.
Right.
But for a lot of people out there that are struggling to find the help, if you're going to get it or someone's willing to give it to you, you
Yeah.
have to take it.
you have
can't-
to be willing to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's programs that even the VA will do. I don't always want to put down the VA because there is a lot of things
Sure.
that they do that are
There's
good.
help there.
I think it depends on the branch that you go to. So like James Haley in Tampa is actually pretty good,
Yeah.
but there's other places that I've been that are horrible.
Just-
I mean, it's just, you would never think they were the same places.
So there's been some talk of kind of reform of the VA. I'm sure you've heard about kind of what they want to do. And
Yeah.
I've been talking about it for 20 years. Do you think that with what Doge is doing and what, the current administration, do you feel like they maybe have a clearer vision for what could happen in the next several years with the VA?
I think they could.
Whether or not they'll do it, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the last time Trump was in, he did stuff for the VA
I know.
and made the VA better.
I know he did. Yeah.
And that's not something anybody can deny. So I feel like if anybody can do
it's
it
going to be him, right?
or will do it, it would be
Yeah.
him because he's already done it.
right. So
What are some of the things that he
double
made
down.
better?
Oh yeah.
I
Great
mean,
question.
just being able to be seen, being able, getting our benefits back right, fixing the money, from if you're on disabilities and stuff.
opened up that wallet for a lot of people.
Yeah. Made it run a lot more efficiently. Opened up new sectors of stuff.
Yeah.
He went to bat for vets 100%. And then you see what happened with a lot of our money going away,
Yeah.
to the VA. And
Yeah, I think that if there's one thing, like you said, that was one of the best things he did the first 4 years, and now I don't know if I read it. Fact check me, internet. Like I've said before, I don't give a shit. I'm pretty sure that he said within this first 100 days there was going to be a focus on veterans benefits and veteran affairs.
Yeah.
Which are two different things, people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but it's not all one.
No.
So hopefully they can make more things. Maybe I don't want to say a line, but take some of the lessons that Wounded Warrior has done for tried and true,
Yeah.
and apply that to the standard VA policies. Because what you've told me so far, which I knew nothing about Wounded Warriors other than it's a great cause,
yeah,
but it sounds like it's really helped not just you, but probably hundreds of thousands of other veterans that came through that could use that help and were ready to take that help. So if anybody that matters is listening, let's do what we can to help the VA guys, because it's always, you never want to hear about a veteran ending their own life or doing something to somebody else. Obviously,
yeah,
those are but that they've been through stuff. I mean, especially it feels like our generation, because we're not quite, this post 9/11, like you said, generation. They're not as respected because there were so many people that joined. It was one in three young men at the time were signing up, and not only that, it's the root of it being in Iraq and now in Afghanistan and other places has always been, the media had made it such a shit show.
Yeah.
That everybody just thinks, well, that was their job. Fuck them. They went over and did it.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of what happens. And to have maybe some VA reform and people, guys, boys, girls, go find your local chapter of Wounded Warriors.
Yeah. So like if you're here, there's right in Tampa. And the people that run that Tampa location are phenomenal. I literally know every single one of them will go to bat for anybody.
That's great.
The other thing that I like about them more is they don't push medications.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's great.
The VA is just medication after medication after medication.
I remember that with my grandfather.
Well, and there's a lot of addiction that happens out of the VA, right?
Been there.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I've literally, just from, dealing with injuries and stuff, been on pain medication.
Yeah.
And
hard to get off of.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like I think differently than most people, but for me, I could kind of tell once it started that I had to take it because of time and not because of pain. I knew that was the issue.
You don't have an addictive personality, then.
No. I mean, for me, I knew I had to do something, and I did it right away. Yeah. And I even told the VA, just put on my chart, like, I can't have, Percocet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I have trash bags full of medications.
Yeah.
That I would, be put on. And it's always, well, let's try this. Let's hire this. Let's hire that. At least with Wounded Warrior Project, it's let's take care of the issue or try to take care of the issue.
Treat the issue, not the symptom.
Yeah. Let's give you coping mechanisms. Let's find out what's really going on.
And I assume they provide physical therapy as well as mental health.
Right.
Basically the whole thing. Anything that you could possibly need. Right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
And they do it in different ways that you don't feel like you're doing it. Like you're not sitting down on someone's couch. Like, tell me how you feel today. Nobody wants to tell you.
No.
So you mentioned before that if someone is looking to find help, to reach out to you.
Yeah.
How do they reach out to you?
I mean, they can reach out to me through, Facebook.
And we're going to tag all of his socials when we're done here, too.
Reach out to me through TikTok, through my email. I would never turn anybody away.
Yeah.
And even if you're not in, say, this location, you could be in damn Alaska.
Sure.
I might not know somebody out there, but I'll know somebody that will know somebody.
Yeah.
You
You're
know?
connected. You guys are network.
Right. So I'll give anybody any information. If you want help filling out the, online
Yeah.
stuff, which isn't hard, I'll help you do it. I don't care.
Yeah. You all right? You about to have that. It's about time for your coffee fit. Get that man some water. Oh,
But-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Hang on.
I would say if the whole point behind it is if you're going to have an issue of wanting to open up to the VA or go through that stuff,
Yeah.
go to the Wounded Warrior Project first then,
Okay.
because I think you'll get more help.
Yeah.
I think you'll have fun. I think it'll bring some happiness
I'll
back
take
to your
that.
life.
So, good. Again, if you're out there and you need help, I'll tag all of Matt's socials in the videos, and on the when I make the TikToks, we'll get you tagged in there. So that if you guys need help, reach out to him. He's your gateway to help.
Yeah, or if they want more personalized info on it, or things like that. I
Yeah.
have no problem sharing that too.
Yeah,
So
which is awesome. So, if you could go, I'm going to call this the Marty McFly
Oh, boy.
section. Okay, if you could travel as you are today, with the extra pounds and everything, back to 2003
yeah,
to your 19-year-old
we
self.
probably have to go back further than that, but okay.
Well, if you go back, if you go back to that, okay. So if you could go, all right, let's make it a little change up. If you could go back to any point in time in your young adult life or your young life, would there be one thing that piece of advice you would give yourself that would not change your life, not change your outcome, not take away your children? We're not Tony Stark in it.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're gonna Marty McFly it, go back X amount of years, and you're gonna say to young Matthew, "This is some sage advice. It will make your life easier."
Just one thing? I mean, there's
It
a
has-
lot of things, but
One thing, just one thing. That's the game.
one thing to what? Make
Just
life
make-
easier?
Not just make your human experience a little bit easier than it has been. Stumped him.
Yeah, you did, man.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, I think take more advice from my family, my parents.
Okay.
Probably.
That's a good one. Listen to your parents more.
Yeah, especially now that I'm a dad, and
Yeah.
we try to give our kids the key to success sooner than they realize it.
They're not ready to hear it. Yeah.
And we try to, here's the manual if you
Yeah.
just read it, so me being in that, I do think back like, damn,
Yeah.
I know when my parents were telling me, I said the same thing my kids telling me. So
Right.
I would say that's definitely one thing,
Yeah.
would be to
Okay.
adhere the advice.
One more thing. If you had one more thing.
One more thing?
Yeah.
Are we going to go until I give the right answer?
No, I think what you gave was a great answer. I thought there was also a but there.
No, I mean, I don't want people to feel like I have no regrets
Yeah.
at all. And I've done some shady shit. I've done some troubled shit.
Uh-huh.
But I have zero regrets because
You are where you are.
that's exactly right.
You are where you're supposed to be
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think we all kind of share that same kind of piece of advice is like, I don't know that I wish I would have listened to my parents more when I was younger. I think I'm okay, I'm super okay with the person that I am
yeah.
and my flaws and all. But, maybe cherish that information a little more, not necessarily let it shape me, but, hear it.
Yeah.
Hear the advice. You don't have to take it, but hearing it,
Yeah. I mean, life would be easier if I would have saved more
So, man,
money
there's never enough money.
and not did dumb shit with it.
I mean, probably buy Mustangs and then getting smashed by a car. Or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. Well, we all have this. That's a shared regret, man. We all,
Yeah.
whether you have money or you don't have money or you're in between monies or whatever it is, it just never, huh?
Not buying dirt.
Yeah, yeah. Not but investing in property would have been more. Nobody's gonna listen to that. I think even if we traveled through time,
Yeah.
you're off.
He's off.
He's off. There's no sound.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there it is.
There I am.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't. I don't think I would have heard it, even if we went back. And I don't think I would have heard anything I was saying today when I was 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah, no.
It's just the nature of the beast, right? You never can go back in time. It's probably a good thing we can't, unless that's what the aliens are doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I would think though, like trying to think off the rip. I don't know anything else I would have really.
Yeah, because you wouldn't do anything different,
No, probably not.
Yeah. So, which kind of leads us to where we're at now and today, right? So you have this, again, we talked about it at the top of the show, but this amazing apparel company. You've developed this real brand for yourself. And this came from having the confidence in yourself, which I'm sure your time in the military influenced that. Your time with the, Wounded Warrior Project, that all influenced what you're doing with United Warrior. And I mean, I can't say enough about how, from the first time I met you to even now, how impressed I have been with kind of how you run your business, because you're doing it for you. Like you're not out there trying to please everybody. You run you run your company just the way you want, which, I think most successful companies lose that over time. But you've done a great job keeping your brand integrity very high. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, tell me
I
how.
definitely need to get an asshole shirt though.
I'll get you one.
Can you fix
I know a guy.
fix this? Fix your sleeve. Slide it down.
Whoa.
There we go.
There
You're
it is.
making this very uncomfortable. Mike.
There it is. I hope that's on tape.
So this is your number one selling product, obviously, and you print for everybody under the sun, and you have your nice warehouse. Was there a point when you started the company that you're like, this is never going to work, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And your message is just to keep on going, right?
Yeah.
Just don't give up.
Me and my wife together probably could have gave up. Probably did give up, 20 or 30 times. But we always said we're going back. I don't know how many times either myself or my wife's like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm over this.
Yeah.
It's tough when you don't have money in the bank and you're trying to start something and you're literally paying for everything.
Yeah.
We don't have credit. We didn't have nothing.
Yeah. Hang on. Wait, we have to.
CPR.
It happens it's been happening for 3 weeks now. Goodness.
Is he always sitting next to you?
Last time
Maybe that's the problem.
Last time he sat here. Now he's got that 5-week funk.
Oh.
He just can't get rid of it. So just don't give up, right? Keep on going because I'm sure I heard this quote a couple days ago, and it was like, when you start, no matter what time it is, there's going to be 1,000 people doing the same thing you are.
Absolutely.
After 5 years, there's going to be 100 people doing what you're doing. And after 6 or 7 years, there's going to be 5.
Yeah.
And if you can stay and make it past that hump, that 5-year hump, you're going to be successful. Would you say that's accurate?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know when we first started, and I mean, we were doing this out of our garage.
Yeah.
When we first started, there was probably, no joke, I would say at least 30 people within a 5-mile radius
Doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is hustle your ass off to make yourself stand out or do something different than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
If you want to make it in anything, it doesn't matter what type of business it is or goal or career or even life goals you have to bust your ass to get there. Nobody's going to give it to you.
What's funny how that theme is, you just hit it right on the head, man. Is like, that's how I think life is in general, from separating from the military to being married as long as you have been to having 2 older kids now, and now you got a little one and another one on the way after a decade almost. So you just keep going. You move through life, and everybody goes through tough times.
Yeah.
Everybody has things, like you said, financial issues they go through or whatever it is, but everybody. What's the Razor Ramon? Mark would love it. I might wait till he gets in here, but Razor Ramon said it famously: is tough times don't last, but tough guys do, or whatever it was, something like that.
Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Tough people make tough times easier. Easy times make
something.
Weak Men or something like that. Yeah,
something
but,
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, well, how he put that was like the best thing I had heard.
Here he comes. Wait.
Does he know it?
Mark is a super wrestling fan, especially 90s era. Hey, what's that Razor Ramon quote about tough guys?
Oh God.
He can't remember.
See what happens when you get put on the spot? Now you know how I feel.
That's my job.
Tough times.
He doesn't know it either. Okay.
Look it up.
Well, you know what we'll do? We'll just cut it right here, and I'll put a Razor Ramon clip in here.
Yeah.
It'll be him saying whatever it is. So, do you guys like that? It's
You
Razor
got it?
Ramon.
Let's hear it.
Oh, producer. Wow. Producer Miranda has it. What do we have, Ben? No.
I'm gonna say it.
Oh, you're still in the spotlight, are you?
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true.
This is right. This is it.
Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Okay, well, that's not
That's a
exactly what I
different
thought
one.
it was.
No, but
I
so
mean-
the one you said,
Yeah.
somebody said that, and it's actually in a song.
Is it by Burden? No, I don't think so.
I don't think it was his.
Yeah.
I'll get you the song.
Okay. This was Spotify it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just got. Oh my god. So he dressed up like Pasco's Hulk Hogan for Halloween.
Oh wait, no.
It was
That's right, brother.
awesome. It was. We went to
Fun story.
Longleaf.
My uncle
It
is
was
good
awesome.
friends with Hulk Hogan.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you know Hulk Hogan? I think he might still have it, but he had a Beetle.
No.
wanna
Like,
talk
like
about
the Volkswagen Bug.
Yes,
Oh.
loved it. Turbo.
How the
White.
fuck did he fit
Yellow.
there?
Oh, of course it was yellow.
Yeah.
He probably had like red rims or something on it too, right?
Is he muted?
No, it's
He used to go down to Vokey Volkswagen all the time.
Okay.
You know what that is?
No.
Loki?
Loki.
Volkswagen? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he lived in Clearwater. Probably still
He
does.
still
right?
does.
Yeah.
He lives in
Well,
Beverly Hills or whatever it's called.
well, he's not too far. I mean, he still has
But yeah,
his
he's right
shop
down
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark's a super '90s wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fan.
You know Chris Benoit? Remember that dude?
Well, yeah, of course.
That was
He
my
killed
mother's
his entire
cousin.
Family. What?
No.
Yeah.
Your mother's
Somehow, yeah, they were related.
like first cousin.
I don't know.
No wonder you look so familiar.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah, it's a little bit of Benoit. In
I
you.
never met that
French
guy.
fuck.
Oh, good. Now we got to do the Chris Benoit intro here.
I don't know that one, and I
The
don't
theme
want to talk
music.
about it. We're not going to give that guy any more time. Killed his whole family.
His time's over.
Killed his whole
Yeah.
family. Just snap one day.
Yeah.
PTSD or something.
I did hang out with John Cena once, so that was cool.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Could you see him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't
Yeah, he was just
Yeah.
Lame.
He's just John at that
big
point.
dude.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's enormous.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw him over at Grill. What was it? Grill 54.
Did you?
Years
He doesn't
ago
live
when I
he
used-
doesn't live far from here.
He lives in
Yeah.
West Chapel.
Yeah.
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 He was in his. He had a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but one of them.
My sister was infatuated with him, so
Oh my
he
God.
actually like sent her a picture signed and everything. She was only like 14 or 15 at the time, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It was
We're
for
down
his
a
sister.
slippery slope here now.
That's about as close as I get to wrestling because wrestling's fake.
Of course it's fake. It's always been fake. It's always been fake.
Sorry.
I know. I'm not saying that.
It's always been fake.
Their
We used to
physical
bootleg
abilities.
WrestleMania at his house. Or basically,
Dude, we
any-
used to. Not
any
you,
wrestling
but I used to do backyard wrestling with Paul.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's super.
I got hit by a car doing that. I still have the dent.
still
in my
has a
leg
dent
for
in his
that.
leg. Yeah.
The
You
dent.
want to feel it?
The dent.
I don't,
It's
nobody
right
wants
here.
to feel your dent. Okay.
If I was closer.
Yeah. So you kind of like you're on this precipice of like having this double life now. So you've already lived
Yeah.
this big ass life. You've had your children. You've had your military career. You've been successful in business, and now you have a 1-year-old little awesome
Yeah,
fucking crotch goblin, as you call it.
that's right.
Yeah, and now you've got another one on the way. And what's
Yeah.
that like at 40 plus? How's it feel?
You know,
And do you wish you would have had a vasectomy?
dude, I miss changing diapers so much that I was like, fuck,
Fuck, I gotta do it again.
let's fucking
Can't
do
wait.
it. Remember when we didn't get sleep? Let's do it
Yeah.
again.
No. Yeah.
You know?
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I made everybody else do it.
Wished he had a vasectomy?
No, actually, I didn't. I actually did a lot of it.
It's not. I'm wondering. I'm curious minds
So-
want to know.
So here's the thing about that.
Not like
You didn't have
Listen, I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened, okay? So, because clearly there's a huge age gap between my last one and the new one, like their cars or something. But So
Well, maybe it's a lease and you traded him in.
like how you brought that back.
Yeah.
So
That's our call.
yeah. Oh my God. Now I'm thinking of Theo.
Yeah.
How are we?
Oh, hey,
Yeah. You don't need an accent. So my wife wound up having a procedure after our daughter. And as far as we knew, she couldn't have kids anymore.
Yeah.
It was no like,
Someone lied.
yeah, it wasn't like a procedure like tubes tied or anything, but something
Yeah.
else. So we went 13 years, obviously, on that saying that you're not going to have any. And with so many years gone by, nothing happened. Thought we were in the clear,
Yeah.
and then
You
wham!
have to save money for 13 years.
Guess what?
He didn't save money.
If I knew I was going to have another one, I woulda.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
but I guess my point is, and I was joking about the vasectomy thing, but don't you think, I don't want to say, I think if we were, because we can't, because I had one.
I think don't trust doctors and get the vasectomy.
Well, I think that us as parents now would be significantly more equipped to do it.
Yeah,
Because not only have you done it, but you've raised children practically to, like, the 13, 14 years old. When they get that age,
yeah,
they're almost the people they're going to wind up being.
almost.
They're almost there,
Yeah.
right? And then you can start moving in, because our oldest son is 16 and our middle child is 11 and our daughter is 9. And we got a long way to go still, but the 16-year-old is like, I think he's going to be a great person. I don't know what he's going to want to do in his life, but he's got the foundation to be an awesome kid. And I know your oldest daughter does too.
Yeah,
Right? Because you told me about some of the stuff she's involved in. And I think that one thing that I'm sure you've already experienced is, like, I think you're finding more, fair to say, joy in having a little toddler now.
yeah, more patience
Yeah, absolutely.
for
Yeah.
fucking sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's a road that's been traveled, and you've had the benefit of hindsight now, you know?
yeah. The only thing I feel bad about is I don't know if I feel bad, but like when you say it out loud. So obviously,
This will be good.
Yeah, my two older kids, and we live such a fast-paced life between business and sports and everything. Like, there's every single day something's going on.
Preaching to the choir.
That sounds very.
And it's like we've went to work, then went to kids sports,
Yeah.
and then went back to work because we still had stuff. And now we're like, well, we have two more. Well, we have another one on the way, so we're gonna have two little ones. It's like we need to make sure we slow down and do things. I feel bad saying that because it's like we should have said that before
Cheated
too.
him out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you say that, it's like, damn, that sounds like shit.
Yeah, I can relate to that because it was a little bit of the opposite. Where our oldest son, we were, I want to say, focused on work and business, and then like just being new parents.
Yeah.
That I think we skipped out on some of the opportunities that we gave our other two children.
Yeah.
And then now you go back, you go, man, did you do the right thing? You never know, but you do have that vision of hindsight. With our daughter, she's a challenge because she's a girl, obviously, right? You've got two
no, I got one
One
girl.
girl, yeah.
Don't add
Yeah.
another one.
All I have is girls.
Think
Yeah,
oh,
all Mark
girls?
has is girls.
I'm done.
But you still have that vision, that hindsight of having the older kids to kind of at least go back to. So I think you're gonna have a lot of fun as a golden.
Do you
age
know what you're
daddy.
having?
boy, thank God.
Okay.
Dude, I'm sorry for all the people out there that have a lot of girls, but I love my daughter to death. I wouldn't trade her for nothing.
Correct.
The problem is
tough.
when you have a girl, you got to worry about everybody's.
Whoa,
When you have a boy, you only got to worry about one.
it's accurate. Yeah.
So, and in today's world, I'd much rather bring a boy into this world than a daughter with all the fucked
I
up
don't
shit
know,
out
but
there.
though, but like I mean, like I feel like you look at it on the opposite side.
I feel like it's a
You
boy.
know.
Oh, he got kidnapped. Oh shit, he'll find his way home. Your daughter, you're like fucking.
Yeah,
let's
but they-
roll
but
everybody up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
it's like, but like I know a few people that have been in a you have kids. They're in relationships, and the moment the boyfriend turns 18,
Yeah,
and he's dating this 17, 16-year-old, whatever it is.
18 or
And
16.
now
You
and
know,
he pisses off he pisses off her parents, and next thing you know, he's in jail.
that's true too.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's it's a.
That's true too.
I just
I
feel-
never thought of it that way, but that is true.
I feel like because
boys got to be careful.
Well, yeah, for sure.
So do girls.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
boys got to be careful because,
But I feel like growing up too, and like my daughter actually brought it up the other day of how boys can do this and boys can do that, and they're not looked at a certain way. But if girls do the same thing, they're looked at a different way.
absolutely, there's a
Totally.
double standard,
Yeah.
100% of the way.
And
The one thing that I feel like fortunate for sure is that my boys it's the three of us, and my oldest son is 16, so he will
yeah,
be almost, by the time he's going to be a full-blown adult,
Yeah.
with maybe his own family at that time, and we have a good circle of friends that
we really do.
we do, and same thing with your girls is like they'll never have to worry about somebody hurting them because we'll have my boys, his girls have
Yeah.
me if anything happens.
There's support.
There's
Right.
there's a lot of family looking over. I don't think people do that enough anymore.
No,
Like,
they
keep
don't.
their friends. Like,
I remember growing up, like your neighbor would beat your ass if you got in trouble.
not only that, and I touched on this last week when we recorded, is I don't think that enough kids hold their peers accountable. There's not enough.
What do you mean?
I don't want to call it bullying, okay?
Yeah,
But like, there's not that one kid. I have a kid like this, so this is why I say that. He will stand up and say, what you're doing, just like me, is not right. You need to stop.
oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
There's not the two kids
Like,
are
you're totally being an asshole. Chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our middle child, he's done that twice this year in school, where he's gotten him. He's like he got in between two kids in a altercation, and he's enormous for his age. And he threw the other kid down,
Yeah,
Wow.
Good.
and he's like, "Stop!" Basically, he got in trouble,
yeah,
which is bullshit.
yeah. I yeah.
And they're just
I
too
don't-
afraid, and they're too afraid of what the parents are going to do. It's like the parents are terrified of what the school's going to do to them. We don't give a shit. Like, you want to send my kid home because he was stood up
Yeah.
for another kid that couldn't defend himself?
My kids have the three law rule, which is tell the teacher, tell the counselor, tell the principal, take care of it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a long-term thing, but in the moment.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
in the moment, they're always told to stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
100%.
or protect people who can't.
Because you know what, we can always take action.
Yeah.
After with if you get in trouble.
Yeah.
As long as you're standing up for yourself and you're not being a bully,
Yeah.
you will not get in trouble in my house.
Right. Well, then also holding your peers accountable, I think,
Yeah.
is a big deal. You're not.
So do you think there's a difference between being an asshole and being a bully?
I do. I do think there's a difference.
100%.
Bullies are pussies.
Yeah. It's true.
Fair.
I can't stand bullies, and I can't stand this school age where if you stand up to a bully, you get in just as much trouble as they do. And
That's wrong.
that's
Well,
bullshit.
and you almost
There's
have
a lot
to
of red tape when it comes to
and there
bullying.
is. Well, you know this because
Yes.
you're adjacent to the school system.
Yeah.
But I also think that some of these kids are getting raised with a tougher skin because now you can't get away from kids dicking with you all the time, right?
No, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Our oldest son, great kid, plays a lot of video games, and he's been able to maintain relationships with friends because of that. So, which is why I don't give him too much of a hard time.
Yep.
But hearing them on the microphone talking to each other, the kind of shit that they
Oh
say,
my
I'm like, yes.
It's
Like, you rag on your buddies, like
Yeah.
make fun of your friend for whatever it is, because it only makes you closer.
I agree.
Yeah, but there are so many of these parents who have told kids
squeezing.
that don't do this, don't do that. Be kind to your friends and all. No, be a fucking.
This
I can do
asshole
so much shit.
This asshole tied me up
I
to a
wasn't by
fucking
myself.
pole. Tied me up to a basketball pole. All
This
right.
is true.
Okay.
Oh.
And
Till he
kept on,
urinated on
and him and my other buddy.
peed all over himself.
Dude, they kept on pulling on the fucking rope, one on one side, one on the other, and my fucking bladder just released.
And you're still here today.
And I'm still here today.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was the fucking goalie. Well, apparently I wasn't just a goalie. I was the.
Piss spot.
I was what I was. Yeah.
that's wrong.
It was wrong.
That's wrong.
I mean, fundamentally wrong, but funny as shit.
dickhead right here.
I mean,
but
I pick on my kids big time. I figure if
Oh,
they
yeah,
can
100%.
handle it from
Handle
me,
it from me, they can get it from anybody.
and I tell them that, I'm
Yeah.
like, listen,
Just
if you can take the shit I tell you,
her too. Yeah.
then
so, how do you guys are dealing with with your kids when they're fighting with each other and they're hitting each other and they're just fucking pissing you off? How do you deal with that? Because like I've been lately having.
There's a couple ways.
Well,
Fire hose.
So it depends on how you want to get. You could get like when my kids were young, we'd put them in the same fucking shirt together.
I did that to the girls too. The get along shirt, right?
Yeah. I've also told them if you guys don't knock it off, I'm gonna come over there and end it. And they usually disperse.
Hey listeners, if you're running a small or large business and want to keep your IT running smoothly, you need to check out Computer Quest. They take the hassle out of managing technology, whether it's cybersecurity, asset tracking, or even full-service IT management. They've got you covered. I've been working with Computer Quest, and let me tell you, it has been seamless and smooth end to end. Their expertise and support make a real difference. Plus, they can source hardware from the brands you love at competitive prices, so you're always getting the best value. Don't wait for tech issues to slow you down. Visit cqbits.com. That's cqbits.com to learn how Computer Quest can keep your business moving forward. And make sure to tell them Permanent Mark Podcast sent you.
Same as my kids.
It's like for me, because the boys are the ones that,
And I'm the asshole.
she handles the she handles
Not yet.
She handles
Yeah.
her daughter. She handles our daughter because I don't ever want to. Even when I get loud with my daughter, it's like I've crushed her entire world.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you really haven't.
Yeah.
They know how to use that against you. They like them. They know how to manipulate daddies.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, I don't care about that. The boys, I've had to get in between them because our 16-year-old is 6'2.5". He's very tall.
Yeah.
And Ollie is very stout, very very strong for his size. So that you get him together, he can get us up underneath our oldest and throw him up, because
Yeah.
he plays football. So he's like, I'm just going to use my leverage against you. So you have to get between them, and it's like two bulls going at it,
See, I've never really dealt with that.
They're 16 and 11. So,
Yeah.
it's a big difference.
I've never dealt with that
Yeah,
because
but the 11-year-old can kick his ass.
Oh,
it's a boy and a girl, so they don't
No? Just
really
wait.
get crazy.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
They bicker and do dumb stuff, but
Yeah. No, we
the
don't-
two boys I'm looking
feel-
forward to.
And I joke because I feel fortunate because we don't have a lot of that issue with that. You've heard them yell at each other and they get it, and we're like, shut up, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's mostly that I'm just annoyed with the sound. I don't really care about anything else.
I understand that.
The sound is like, just shut up, just keep for 5 minutes.
Good point there. I think that might
don't
be
care.
what it
If
is.
they
Just take
wanna-
their phones, and it's like the end of their life.
I've done
It
that. I've
is.
taken their Xboxes. It's
Oh
over.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
So
I
typically,
took all electronics away from the girls not even 3 weeks ago.
If my kids'
They
rooms
knocked
aren't
their
clean
shit
in the
off real
morning,
quick.
they don't get their phone for
it's
the
a
day.
daily struggle. Yeah, I thought about hiding the
enough.
Wi-Fi password and stuff.
Yeah.
Like change the Wi-Fi password, hide it underneath the stuff they pile on their
Make
desk,
it
so
like
they
an
have
escape room again
Yeah.
to find the
Yeah.
fucking password.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You have to work along. You got to work together to find the password.
yeah, something like that. So, parenting
You
is.
might have come up with a new idea.
I wish
here.
that they had a handbook sometimes for it, but I think that.
But who would write it? That'd be
Nah,
the
it's-
problem.
yeah. Well, I think that just like right now, you
ChatGPT.
have like this inside track
GPT,
because it's
whatever
going to
it
be a lot easier. I feel like it would be than it starting. First of all the stuff that was going on in your life.
Yeah.
The
I'm in a
moving,
better
the going
place,
back
that's for sure.
100%. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to be said for that big gap. I think you're going to have this whole second breath, this whole second part of your life. My parents were older when they had me, and they'd had older children, so I can speak from experience because they had children from other marriages, and I was the last. My mother just turned 80 this week.
What's that say
Or
about you?
last month.
You were the last.
God
they were
bless.
like, golly, this guy.
Love you, Mrs. Smith.
My dad was my dad was a couple years older than my mom, so it was like that was he's 44 or so when they had me, and my mom was like 38. So there was a age gap.
God, it's
there.
gonna be me. Almost.
Yeah, but I'll tell you that I wouldn't change that for the world.
Yeah.
Because I think I know for a fact my dad has been gone 16 years now, 17. I can tell you that I know that he was different with me than he was with his other kids.
Yeah.
And that was because of the time of his life that he was in and the experience he'd already gone through. I think he really thoroughly enjoyed his time being my dad. I'm not saying he didn't with my siblings because he loved us all.
Yeah.
But it was a totally different experience, and they'll tell you that. My half sister and brother will tell you that that was not our dad. That was not our life. That was not our experience with him.
Yeah.
And my mom would say the same thing. She goes, "You were the baby, yes, but he was a different man with you than he was everybody else." And I think that's going to be your experience. I think you're going to feel some of that too. And I think we can't have.
We did a really good job pissing him off plenty of times, though.
Dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He would get mad at us because we were little hellions.
I mean, I think you mature, obviously.
We grew up together. We were brothers, so we were always together. And we would just endlessly do shit to make him mad.
I can still hear in my mind him saying, "Michael,
Michael,
Michael,
Mark, Jesus Christ."
What?
Sorry, it's a big deal. You know?
He was yelling.
But that's how I remember it. Like I just remember him always. It was never Mike.
Yeah,
it was always Michael.
Yeah, my mom too. So she's still
Michael.
But anyway, I think that's going to be your human experience this time around. I hope it is anyway.
I hope so.
And having two boys is going to be awesome.
I can't wait for the fights, man.
I bet you don't.
I really can't.
I'm going to tell you. I
bet I do.
I bet you don't.
We'll see.
They're going to be so close, and they're going to want to do the same things. They'll probably bicker. I don't know that you'll get physical fights.
I just think of like how me and my brothers were. It was ruthless sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, but
did you ever tie one to a basketball pole and make them piss themselves?
I've never done that per
It
se.
wasn't that ruthless then, was it?
But there's been some worse stuff.
Or shoot him out of a fucking tree.
I shot him out of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good times. Yeah.
I mean, we
definitely. Believe it or not, it wasn't the worst.
My brother.
Believe it or not, it wasn't the worst thing that happened to him in our neighborhood because there were kids. Mark is super Jewish, and kids would make fun of him because of that, and they would chase him
because of that.
They only found out because you let them know.
Hey, so I mean, have to know he's Jewish.
If you want to go hindsight here, all my childhood problems of being
all his
Jewish
traumas
come down to
related
this
me.
guy right here.
Oh, that's nice.
They would chase him around the neighborhood with cactuses and beat him with them.
Hold on, you were a part of that.
I didn't do that.
He just handed.
What did
them
I
the
black
cactus.
out and just think you
I
were?
didn't do that. That was those other two.
Oh
chicks.
no, I'm sorry.
I
was
wasn't
in the
there. You
background
came to my
cackling, going.
You came to my house immediately after.
I had fucking.
He had thorns in
cactus
his ass.
in my head.
Yeah, that was great.
It was terrible.
You know what the worst part is? We were 18.
No,
I'm kidding. No.
Whoa. I'm like,
we were,
no.
No, we were not adults.
We could have been maybe like 12, 13.
Yeah, it was around the same time I shot you out of the tree. I had a slingshot in our garage, and this guy would climb in the tree in my neighbor's yard. And he's climbing up the tree, probably running from those guys.
That was probably
I came
payback.
outside of my garage, and I took the slingshot, and I shot
Son of a bitch. I'll never forget it.
I shot a fishing anchor, a little 1 ounce.
Oh, yeah,
piece
yeah.
of lead. I hit him right
damn.
in the ass. He fell right out of the tree.
I never thought of using those.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Flew through the air,
Oh.
hit him right in the. It was great. Good times.
You really set me up to get
times.
my ass beat because that's
times.
why I was up in the fucking tree in the first
and
place.
here you are.
Fucking
Living to
oh
tell
my
about
god!
it.
And
Like
I
a
can
cat.
still remember the guy that was waiting at the bottom of the fucking tree, waiting
Yeah.
for me to kick my ass. Sal Benvenuto, whatever his name was.
What a name.
What a name.
Sal.
What a name.
He
First
sounds like a
generation,
dick.
First
Yeah.
generation Floridian there.
Yeah, man.
Old Solly.
I might have said his name wrong. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't my favorite.
So
name.
I assume you're looking forward to this next chapter, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you think the future holds for you next 10 years?
You know,
well, he'll be
I don't
still
know,
raising a
man.
child.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you're what's gonna?
I make the joke that my 2 kids now call me daddy, and
No,
my
those
next
are
2 kids are
grandpa.
going to call me grandpa.
but they probably will because I mean, it's
Papa.
very likely. We say this all the time. Leo being 16, by the time our daughter is out of the house, he may have his own family and have his own kids at
Yeah.
that time too. So it'll be.
I'm just going to tell
Definitely.
these ones that their dad went and got the milk, and I'm your granddad.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
Was our friend Steve who was on first episode? He just had his first. He's 44. He just had his first grandbaby, and they call him Papa G, which is really funny. But he went up there to meet him over the weekend. Shout out Mr. Steve Gainey, Captain Gainey.
Yes,
Um,
captain.
Yeah,
Captain.
captain only. He's a
captain to you.
He's a captain, and he's a firefighter, and he just became a captain a couple of years back. And I just recently found out that nobody addresses him by anything but Captain Gainey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even the people who have known him for years.
It's either Steve.
It's not either Steve. It's when they're at work.
Oh,
even if you've known him, it's Captain Gainey.
No.
Yeah, and it's not something he's done. It's apparently a thing. I don't know. We were talking about it last night.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, you're gonna have a very interesting human experience the next decade or so.
Yeah.
With business still going with the way it is now, and the guys you work with, and the partnerships and things like that, and the connections you made. So, one last thing before I think we get out of here, because we're probably getting up there 2+ hours. If and when, well, I don't know if and when, if you had stayed in the military, if you had stayed in there for your 20+ years, do you think that your life would be drastically different?
Well, there would be some differences, obviously. Well, it's hard to say because you don't know where that would take you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to say.
I guess what I mean is, do you see the core of your life changing significantly by not being in the military?
Yeah, but for the better, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like I control the outcome of it now.
Yeah.
Whereas
100%.
when you're in the service, sure, you do what you want, but every move is controlled by somebody.
Right.
Just
a part of the game.
Yeah, one day you could be here, and the next day you could be, in Wyoming
Chess piece.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
you get put where they want you to be, and that's it. And then you make the best of that situation. Where here, I feel like I can write my own narrative. So if it goes to shit, it's my own fault.
Right. You're creating your own story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit harder,
Yeah.
but at least I get to take control of it on my own, or with my wife at least. You know?
Sure.
So
But ride or die, right?
that's right.
Especially now, you got her knocked up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't run.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying. I only got a couple more months till she can, but
She waddle. Yeah.
yeah.
Waddle
It'd be easy to catch.
Oh my God. Catch me. I mean, don't say that. I mean, you never know if you can run either.
I can't.
Say-
Yeah.
Yeah. And then any advice that you could give to the people out there right now that are struggling with coming forward to say, "Hey, I need help." Like, is there anything you would say that would, I don't want to say help them get help,
Yeah.
but also push them into getting that help that they need in a positive manner without being, like you said, told that you have to go have help?
My eyes watering. It sounds like a cliche, but you're obviously not the only one, and
It's not. It's such a common theme.
yeah. Whoever you call and reach out to, whether it be another buddy or it be somebody, like I said, at the Wounded Warrior Project or something, they've heard the call, they've had the call, they know what you're going through. Do it.
Yeah.
If you want to actually get better, if you want to actually take control of your life again, then do it. Worry about the effects of how you're going to feel after. People get nervous and they're like, I don't know, or what are they going to think about me, or my other friends. Usually is how it goes.
Okay.
Your closer friends, like, oh, you need help, you're a pussy.
You're talking about usually your friends from the military, though, yeah?
Well, no, it doesn't have to be them. It could just be anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't ask for help for
You're
that
worried
reason.
about the judgment.
Yeah, judgment.
Meanwhile, you're struggling.
Yeah, but if you're really struggling,
Yeah.
there's so many different things out there. But even just reaching out to, a former member of the military, somebody that you might have served with, or like I said, me. I don't even need to know you. You can reach out. I'll talk to you. It could be on the phone. It could be wherever.
Yeah.
But you got to do it. If you want to take back your life, if you want to be in control of your mental status and not be a homebody all the time,
Yeah.
because that's what we are, homebodies. You're hermits. It's easier than going out.
To ignore the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta reach out. It'll never get better. If you're sitting there waiting till the day like, oh, something's going to finally click, it's not. I hate to be that guy, but it's not going to click. Nothing will change. If you don't change your routine, nothing will change.
And do you think that has to do with the people you surround yourself with?
Absolutely.
Even when you're isolating?
Yeah, because even me, like I'm still somewhat of a homebody. And I think part of it is I have no filter. People that really, really know me know that I have no filter. And whether we're good friends, we're family, or we're not, if you say something that I just don't like or what, like I have no problem saying it.
It's a gift and a curse, isn't it?
It's funny you say that because that's my dad's like fucking like family quote. It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. And yeah, it is, you know. So some of it now, like even all the stuff I've gone through and gotten help and actually really been able to open up my mind and kind of forget some of that, you know, shit, or understand that it was just a part of life and let's move on. Yeah. I stay at home for other reasons, you know, and I'll even still find myself like, shit, I gotta just go and power through it.
Get up and do it.
Yeah.
It's like doing anything that's a routine, going to the gym, eating right, you know, your mental health is just like every other muscle in your body.
I feel like your mental health also plays in the role of who you are as a person as far as who you surround yourself with, like
Absolutely.
you said.
We said this last week. You are who you surround yourself
Yeah.
with 100% of the time.
If you want to be a shitbag, hang out with shitbags.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful, hang out with successful people.
Yeah.
You don't have to be successful at the time of hanging out with those successful people.
That's
they
a
will
hard
help
lesson to
get
learn.
you there.
Yes.
Don't be ashamed like, oh, I don't do as much as this guy. Hang out with them.
Yeah.
They'll get you there and you'll all drive each other. But those same people will also be a good support system for you because they'll care
absolutely.
about you. They'll care about how you grow up.
I wish I could support him in this cough. Jesus Christ.
I know. And you need like sponsors from like Ricola or something.
Ricola.
I'm loaded up on the Ricola right now.
Oh my God. Okay, and I think this will probably be it, and then we'll wrap it up here. Unlike you did.
I've never wrapped it up.
Wow. Somebody test this guy for nothing. Anyway,
Only know 3 times.
if you can, if you're in that friend circle that we talked about, and you think or you maybe feel like your person is going through something,
Yeah.
do you know of a good way to help, or are there resources that you could reach out to as a concerned friend to check on the welfare without being pushy?
Personally, if it was me,
Other than calling up and saying, dude, what's going on?
well, that's kind of how I'd do it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think I would call. I'd go. If
Show up in
I had the
person.
means.
Show up
If
in
I had
person.
the means, yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be more or less of like, hey, man, hey, I was in the fucking area. I was going to go grab something to eat. Like, I wouldn't be like, hey, I heard you're going through some shit. Let's go talk. Like,
You low-key go, hey, let's go have a beer.
yeah, especially military guys aren't going to fucking want to do that anyway.
Well, even if you're not military, a lot of what I think you're talking about applies to
Yeah.
people that have general
Absolutely.
issues. And, you know, like, there's times when he's called me or I've called
Yeah.
him, or we have another mutual friend that's going through a lot right now. It's just like, I just need to get out of the house. And
Yeah.
for someone to call you to say that, you know it's a dire situation.
Right.
But you think that's also true if you feel like your friend's going through something, the best thing you do is pick up a phone?
Pick up a phone first, yeah. I feel like if you reach out, so even me, like I have people obviously in Wounded Warrior Project that I could call and say, hey, Mike's going through some stuff and you know, he hasn't wanted to reach out to anybody but I know he's going through it. I've talked to his wife or whatever. I wouldn't do that because now you're having some stranger call.
Right.
And now it might feel like
Forced or pushed.
yeah.
But
So I or somebody in that circle should probably, or all,
yeah.
should probably, hey, we're all going out, grabbing something to eat. You're coming
Right.
with us.
Yeah, like an intervention.
Yeah, I wouldn't call and say, hey, we're going, because chances are they're going to be like,
I don't want to go.
I don't want to go.
You just show up.
I got something.
Get your ass in the car.
Yeah.
We're going out.
And it doesn't matter what it is. That's
Yeah.
why, not to go off topic, but
No, 100%.
United Warrior isn't just for warriors. Doesn't mean military people. Like
Yeah.
there's warriors that battle shit every day.
Right.
From depression, mental health, different types of jobs. I mean, fire, police, all them guys, medical, they all go through PTSD too.
Yes.
You know, people that deal with other disabilities, cancer, those are all warriors in my book.
Yeah.
And that's why it's United
United,
Warrior.
yeah.
It's trying to unite people, and
So it's not just for the military.
it's not just for the military. No.
Yeah.
I mean, our logo is very patriotic. Nobody knows what
Sure.
it means. But
The Spartan?
Well, I think that's a good thing to let people know because
Yeah,
I
so-
personally did not know that it was not specifically.
it's not specifically United Warrior. The name and everything behind it has a lot of significance to it. It took a lot of time and effort to put into it. Both sides of the shield on that have actually capes, to give you cover and keep you from exposure.
Okay.
There's two different heads. So if you see one's filled, one's not. One has a crack, one doesn't. That's both civilian and military life. Me and my wife.
Representation.
We also have, in our country, we also have two parts of our house. There's two parts there. United Warrior is 13 letters. We had 13 colonies,
Okay.
13 stripes
Look
on
at
our
this.
flag.
Very deep. That's
yeah,
deep, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot that
Yeah.
that people would never know. Which, why would they?
I mean,
But,
it's totally a story that we just told.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy that you look at logos and you never know what the meaning behind them are, but there's a lot of meaning to some stuff.
Ours has none. It's just a big rooster.
It's a cock, bro.
Oh,
There's a meaning behind it.
we need a name.
Oh, yeah, well, Pepe.
Pepe.
Yeah. I'm just going to start throwing stuff out there till somebody gives me a good one.
Yeah, Pepe.
I mean, I like Kevin's growing on me because we have Larry at the house. Larry's the big guy. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We had Jacques.
Just call it Kevin.
We had Jacques the cock.
That was.
This is the
Call it
most
something
important
random.
conversation of the night, by the way.
Huh?
This is the most important conversation.
I don't think so.
We need to have a name for this cock.
Huh? Bob.
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 The cock.
Bobcock.
Bobcat.
Bobcock.
Almost like Babcock.
Peter,
Peter.
Peter.
There you go. Just call
Peter.
it Dick.
Jeff,
Richard.
Jeff.
Richard,
Richard.
Richard Dixon.
Just call it Cox.
Oh, speaking of. Oh, by the way, totally. We're gonna go off track here real quick. Fascinating, by the way. I didn't know that, and
Yeah.
of course, like you said, I would never know unless I asked. So
Right.
I'm glad you told us. I think that's completely on brand for you, who you are as a person too. So I totally amazing, totally awesome. So, the rooster, this guy, we don't. So here's the thing. I love that you got him. Okay. I'm very concerned about his color pattern.
Paying him.
Paying him.
I think we have to paint him because I don't feel he's masculine enough.
I gifted him to you. You do what you need to do.
Can we make him a shirt or something?
Oh, dude, can you make him a little shirt?
Like, what if we get one of those dog ones?
Can you make him a little fucking
And, like,
rooster shirt?
you
I will
need
put
his
it. Will
fuck
just
yeah.
it'll live.
Just take him
on
with
him.
you.
Can it be?
Or we can make him a scarf or something.
What can it be?
with
Our logo on
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
for
let's
sure.
do it. Let's do it. Yes, 100%.
Let's come up with a name so we can put the name on it too.
Okay, so
So
let's
figure it out.
If you guys hear or see this, which I think people are starting to find us a little bit, we're getting there, and this part of it's going to go on TikTok. So TikTok, listen up, camera A, TikTok, listen up. We need to name the rooster. It's dire. We need to have it done
Do you want to get a better view?
so that here should I?
yeah,
Right here.
he's not in them.
Here we go.
Front and center.
There you go. You hold the cock.
Yeah, hold my cock for a second.
And we need to name this guy. Which camera? Camera A. So, yep, we need to name this guy. We have Jacques the Cock,
Towards
Kevin,
me.
Pepe, Kevin. We already said Kevin. What else? You said one.
Oh, I don't know. Cox.
So Dick.
Dick, yep.
Yeah. We need to name him so that Matt can make him.
Dude, what was the name of the rooster
scarf.
on the cartoon?
Which cartoon?
The damn.
Oh God, I know what you're.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Like
Was
the big tall dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like.
What the hell was the name of that dude?
Oh, my God.
God, I can't remember.
It was like our childhood growing up cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah. The
The-
Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Too much.
yeah, that is.
We could. How
that
about
is
just
a
Foggy?
mouthful.
How about just Foggy?
Foggy. There you go.
Foggy Cock.
That's even better when you say it like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's better than a floppy cock.
Okay, forget it. I take this.
I'm just saying.
We need a sponsor for that too, apparently, because So Foggy the cocky.
Foggy the Cocky. Huh?
TikTok, forget I said anything, but this is still hilarious. This is Foggy Cock. We're probably going to give him a little bit of a touch-up for paint, and we're going to get ascot made for him.
Yeah.
So that he's constantly repping
Absolutely.
the United Warrior brand, because Matt's a great dude, and we're just going to keep on doing that, because in 10 years when this has been viewed 100 million times, everybody's going to want a Foggy of their own.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe we
digging
can
it.
make
Give
Foggy.
away like a Foggy Cock.
So then we
Yeah.
don't need any names now. We've decided.
Yeah, maybe we can have Foggy Cock sponsored by the guy who does all the vasectomies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that guy? Whatever.
I
his
mean,
name
there's
is.
plenty
Guy's
of them around the country.
Touch a million
We can have
wieners. Yeah.
Just bring it to him. Hey,
Here's
my Foggy
here's
Cock.
my Foggy Cock. That's
What can you do with it?
oh my god. So last night, and this might just not make it to the show. Last night so I'm doing an interview Monday with a guy in California. I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
Of course, he can't be here, so we found a program that lets you do that. This is podcasting again, by the way. This is my little segment on what it takes to start this shit. If you saw the behind-scenes stuff, we've got lights and cameras and a computer and audio equipment and all kinds of shit, because we're like a real podcast, right? So we found out that we can interview people from anywhere on the planet with a really awesome, I'm not sponsored, so I'm not going to say it, but app.
Okay.
And
You said hat?
app.
Oh, app. Okay.
App. There's an app. And
There's always an app for that.
there's always an app for that, but it's really exciting. So maybe we can get some, sponsors from who knows where. But we joked last week about, what was it, or 2 weeks ago with Steve, about going to that up the river to anyway. So last night we get back on this app and we're talking, and Mark is like, I got to go take my Dupixent. And all we heard was to Dixon.
Yeah.
That's all we heard. That's only. And Steve's like, "What did you say?" And we're talking.
So we're good.
So I sent them a text right after our little video conference, and I said, "Was tired, feeling down, not quite like yourself, not as rigid as you used to be. Ask your doctor about to Dixon." To Dixon.
That's kind of like the did you see the lesbian cover? Like, the lesbian was having a hard time trying to find a girlfriend, so she went to the doctor, and the doctor prescribed her Tridixin.
I didn't see that. No.
Dixon. I love
I guess
it.
the's never been an original thought. To Dixon,
Tridixin
Tridixin.
again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Yeah. Very similar. So, well, man, I appreciate the shit out of you taking time out of your evening on a Saturday when I know you got a lot of shit going on to come over and chat with us and kind of shoot the shit a little bit. If there is a total open door invitation, if you ever just want to come back and shoot the shit or come into one of our other shows when we have guys on,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to keep this thing focused on really trying to help people. Right now we're talking an awful lot about men's health, but you brought up a great point, especially with military life. The military wife is often overlooked, so we can do a whole segment on that kind of stuff too. And that's not just military; it's also in regular relationships. I made a TikTok this week that for me was, I think, a little more controversial than I hoped it would be, and it was basically saying that if you're a dude and you're married or you're with a woman, all guys really want, I don't know if you can find this to be as simple as I am, but it's like, just you want to feel valued and loved, and that you want respect because you give the respect, and you just want to get. Guys are stupid simple. It's like, support me, love me, tell me you love me, and I'm pretty much good, and I feel really fortunate to have a relationship like that where my wife has always given me as much support as I could possibly.
So let me put you on the spot about something.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you view the wordage of "happy wife, happy life"?
I don't
Do you live by that?
I don't always agree with that because I do a lot of stuff that makes her unhappy.
Yeah. So
I do a lot of stuff that makes her unhappy. But just like I said a second ago, at the end of the day, and even maybe sometime at the end of the week, because it's always not a day-to-day thing, we know there's no. She knows that I love her, and that she loves me, and that we've traveled this road so long, just like you have. It would take, a natural disaster of some variety to separate us. So
that's a perfect answer, because the reason I ask is because me and my wife don't live by that at all. No. And we hear people say it, and even we'll be out in public and she'll hear it and she'll be like, "No, we don't." Because if she's happy, that doesn't mean you're happy.
Right.
So if one's not, it
50-50.
doesn't work. Yeah.
You both have to build
Yeah.
a life
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
It's a relationship.
Yep.
It's not there was a woman on TikTok. She said, well, you just want, men just want somebody to come by and wipe their ass. I don't want that. I don't want to be mothered.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I want
have
my
one
wife
of
to be
those.
my partner. We're partnership.
Yeah.
And we almost actually never agree on things.
Yeah.
We take each other's advice. The only person I listen to about anything is her.
Yep. I'm
Ever.
the same way, yeah.
He has his. I don't listen to this shit whatsoever. But I listen to my wife because oftentimes.
Yeah, you did. You're sitting where
She's right.
Sometimes
where
I
you're
say,
at.
Mike, listen to Mark, and then he listens to him.
Yeah, sometimes. But sometimes.
That's because she told Mark what to say.
But she can be right. she has this thing that I don't, is where she thinks in a different
the
brain.
broader picture.
She thinks her brain waves they work different than mine.
Is she a warrior? Are you a warrior? Like warrior?
Oh,
She worries.
definitely.
Yeah, my wife too.
I'm the opposite.
Well, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think works
It
because
works
I'm like,
perfect. You never marry somebody like you.
just calm down.
And
we got
and
this.
what I said at the very beginning is so true. Don't be afraid to fight.
Yeah.
We literally had an argument before we got here, and just get through it, and be done with it, and fucking move on.
Yeah,
And
we're
it
the
wasn't-
same
Hey,
way.
it might not be over.
It's over. Trust me, it's over.
Ours almost never carry over to the next day, or if it happened in the morning, by the afternoon, it's over.
Yeah,
Because why?
yeah. Just,
Why-
there's
Like
no point.
that's even like just you and I. We argue, and the next day, it's
Well,
like,
sometimes it goes on for months because you're a fucking idiot.
then it must be you because I don't care the next day.
But no, I don't subscribe to that whatsoever. And I think that when people do that, I think if you're in a marriage and you're constantly trying to please, whether you're a man or a woman or
Yeah.
a woman or whatever, if you're constantly trying to just do things to please your partner,
Yep.
it first of all, it loses the genuinity when you are in a relationship where you're constantly doing things genuinely for the other person without the expectation of receiving something.
Yeah.
And you get in this loop where you're just, I don't want to say walking on eggshells, but even afraid to fight.
Yeah.
We have
Just hash it out.
just hash it out. Just
Yeah.
fucking do the dirty work. Marriage is not easy. It's not like you see on TV. It's none of that shit. And don't leave. If you truly have built a life with somebody, don't just throw a fucking grenade on it and leave.
Yeah.
I don't care what you've done or what you've been through or what the other person done outside of infidelity and cheating and stuff like
Well,
that.
yeah,
That's a whole
yeah.
different thing.
There's
That's you as a
circumstances.
person. Huh?
There's circumstances
To what?
to leaving a relationship.
I would say abuse, having somebody cheat on you or something, but just don't leave because you fight. It's
Yeah.
stupid. So many marriages end because they're not willing to do the work. They say the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Dude, you almost don't hear people married anymore, like past 10 years.
No, it doesn't happen.
I know, like in my family, I have 5 brothers, right? I think. And a sister.
Out of our friend
They've
group,
all been divorced.
out of our friend group, we're the only ones that are still married.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, 19 years, 20 years next year obviously is a big deal.
Yeah. Except one of my brothers is still married. Sorry.
And even we have friends we ran into over the weekend. They've been together. They're not married. Are they married?
Well, that's the new thing
I
now.
don't know. But they've been together forever. They've been together well over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the same thing, it's the fighting, it's the arguing, it's the disagreeing. Again, you live on the outside of that bubble where you're comfortable. It's a really hard shit, and it makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long, dudes, if you're listening, it takes a long time to get there. And women, I can't speak for women, but I think that my wife would chime in and say the same thing. It's not easy because it's uncomfortable.
Builds character.
And you know this. You've been through a lot of stuff as well. So.
Yeah.
But I did make some broad strokes that can be viewed as offensive because my human experience has been, just don't give up. Don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Like I think I said it before, you can give up.
I
On
think
your
I'd throw
relation-
in there, but know what you're getting into when you first
But you
start.
should. You should have a level of respect and understanding. Not everybody has the benefit of.
That's a big problem is that people are getting into marriages when they don't even know themselves to be able
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
to
and
support
people-
another person in their
I was told a long time ago by somebody that, and I've followed him now to a T, but he said, always be yourself 100% no matter who you're around, to include your wife and
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Treat them the same way you would treat Joe on the street.
Yeah.
So if there's an argument, have your argument back. But as long as you hold yourself 100% true to who you are, then you'll walk through life being the person that you're meant to be the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
I don't. People say this, and I know people really don't mean it. I don't lie. I'm very truthful. I can't. In fact, I can't lie. It makes me feel strange. And,
Yeah.
And I like you. I can't bullshit her whatsoever. I'm a salesperson, and I can make up shit on the spot, and people are like, oh yeah, fuck, that guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Not her.
Yeah.
I can't. But we have grown up together.
Well, yeah.
So did you and your wife,
Right,
basically. We
yeah.
grew up together. So she knows me so well, she can tell when I'm lying. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because I'm not very good at it. You want to say something? Do you have anything you want to add at all, or am I just making myself sound really good? And
You have to add something for
Yeah.
the women. Come on.
I mean, I'm not afraid to tell him when he's making me unhappy.
yeah,
Even
Yeah.
if the problem's not fixed right away.
That's good.
I can tell him today that something he did didn't make me happy, or that we need to work on something, and it may take
Sometimes she
weeks
just wants
or
a hug.
months, but
sometimes she just wants a hug.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
hugs help, but
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
you just
always
can't be afraid to talk about your problems.
right.
And that's what it is.
So
and it
many
bottles
people are
up for
afraid
so
of that.
long. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of men are afraid to talk about
100%.
the problem
Yeah.
or take accountability.
Yeah.
Honestly, sorry.
Yeah, probably more men than women.
Oh, it's more men, and
Yeah.
that's what I was really saying. And that is like, men are not complicated. Don't make them complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And men, you need. I don't think there's enough real men. I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be a dick, but if you're, if you're not willing to be okay with yourself, like you said, but also be okay with your partner when you're even if you don't admit that you're wrong, to have the grace to accept that you might be wrong.
Yeah.
And that takes a long time to learn. This is not, no marriage is perfect by any means. Certainly not ours.
Mm-hmm.
Mark had a marriage that ended fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a mutual thing, and you guys, they're still really close friends, and the kids.
That's cool when that can happen.
They're it's they're still a family without being married, which never happens.
Yeah. Like even me and my wife have had that talk a bunch of times. Like if something were to ever happen,
Absolutely.
we would make sure that we did it in the right way of
Right.
we could still be friends and blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now, whether that happens or not is a different story, but
Yeah.
that's kind of the outlook you should have.
But I mean, that's a big deal. Like, people need to stay married for a couple of reasons. One, it's really good for your health. It's super good to be in a committed relationship where you have somebody to hold you accountable, somebody to lift you when you're low, and somebody to be there for you in the worst times.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the benefit of going through something shitty, it's coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be the collapse of a job or we
or health or
so we have 4 children. One of them died.
Mm-hmm.
He died during childbirth, and that was when I tell you, and you've heard me say this, and you saw this happen. We had to learn to find each other after that again. We were not the same people.
I can imagine.
You are not the same emotionally.
You're still not probably the same people that you were prior to that.
No, it changed us. Forever.
Yeah, for
Changed
sure.
forever. It changed how we parent. It changed everything.
Yeah.
And if you're out there, and just like you said, if you're out there and you're a dude that has gone through a loss of a child, it's okay to be not okay. It's really okay. It's okay to not. You don't have to. You don't have to be. You don't have to make the mistakes that I did, which was assuming that I had to be the strongest person at the time, even though I wasn't, and even though we were going through our own grief at the same time in different ways.
Yeah.
I still felt like I had to shoulder that load.
Yeah.
Which probably wasn't the best thing mentally to do then. But
Yeah.
you only learn that over time. And if you're out there and you've gone through that now, reach out. Like, I'm here to help. I'm not an expert by any means, but
you have your story and you have your
right. That's why we call it permanent mark.
Yeah.
Because it changes you, just like everything you went through with the military, with him with his ex-wife and where he is now. It changes. It's a hard point.
Yeah.
It's like your timeline shifts, So, I think that everything that we go through makes us who we are. That's why I've asked the question 3 times now. If you could go back, what would you change? And it's usually the same answer. Is I don't want to change anything because where I'm at now, I wouldn't be that person.
Yeah.
You'd be a version of that person, but you wouldn't be where
Wouldn't
you're
be
at
the
now.
same, yeah.
Wouldn't be the same. So yeah. You got anything you want to add?
I think you covered it today.
Yeah, well, we talked a lot today. There's a lot to
We
go
did.
over.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad you came out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm glad I
me
did
too, man. It was a lot of fun. Go ahead and tell camera here where it's all at United Warrior.
Yeah, as far as apparel goes, UnitedWarriorApparel.com. We're on TikTok as well, and we're hopefully continue to do stuff with you guys.
Yeah.
TikTok, United, I think it's United_Warrior.
It is, yeah.
Facebook's United Warrior Apparel. You can find us
And that's
basically
how
by
they can get in
typing
touch with you if they have any questions about.
Yeah.
United.
If it's social media, you can shoot us a message on TikTok. You can shoot us a message on Facebook. I mean, my email, I'll literally give you my email. It's mattgoslin@unitedwarrior.org.
Cool.
Feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah.
Even if you just want to, shoot me an email and let me know your story. Even if you don't want feedback, but you just want to put it out there, so you put it out there to somebody. But if you are looking for help, I will definitely get you in the right direction.
And if you want to tell your story, let him know. And if you want to tell it to the world, to anybody who wants to listen, let me know.
Yeah.
That's literally, I feel like my purpose is to help people tell their story. That's why we have Mark in here, and that's why we invite our guests in, and that's why we have producer Miranda, is to help you tell your story, because you never know who you're going to impact.
Or save.
I mean, when I say impact, I think I mean save.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of the most selfless things you could do is put yourself out there and help somebody else.
Yeah.
So, agreed. Good. Okay, well that I think concludes episode number 4. It looks like everything went off pretty much without a hitch, which is awesome. Thank you to producer Miranda. He did a great job monitoring
Perfect.
everything. And
Hopefully it all recorded well.
yeah, I hope so too. And we will see everybody next week. Thanks.
Good.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.